Jiwoo is a talented game developer. She unexpectedly gets pulled into the world she created, called God's Chessboard, by her channel manager, Oswald. Forced to live as Teresa, Jiwoo has to complete a series of missions to satisfy the constellations. However, her appearance throws Oswald's broadcast system off course, altering the entire pre-programmed storyline. Can Jiwoo survive, overcome her destined trials, and rewrite her own story? Join Lisa Manhwa as she follows Villainess BJ to discover this breathtaking journey. In the luxurious room, the nobles are chatting amongst themselves. Lady Libby has returned. Did you see Lady Teresa's expression? She looked extremely uncomfortable. Her heart must be in turmoil. Her half-sister, who was presumed dead, has returned alive. It is clear who will inherit the Squire family now. The man continued talking, unaware that Lady Teresa was standing right in front of him. With that scandalous reputation, it is only a matter of time before Duke Squire abandons her. As soon as the person next to him gave him a hint, he immediately changed his tone, flattering her. Lady Teresa, no, Miss Teresa, you must be very happy that your long-lost sister has returned. Right, Teresa covered half of her face with a fan, shrugged, and replied, of course. He was immediately startled by her answer. What did you say? Teresa calmly replied, I said, I am very happy that my sister has returned. He stubbornly forced a smile, haha, but you look very uncomfortable. Teresa no longer acted gentle and changed her tone. Could it be that you do not approve of my sister's return? Viscount, if so, I should report it to my father, should not I? Hearing that, he frantically defended himself. No, that is not what I meant, Miss Teresa. I misspoke, please forgive me, Miss Teresa. As soon as Teresa finished speaking and left, a system notification popped up. Constellation Cinder Pass has donated 100 coins. Supreme Cinder Provider, refreshing comment. Constellation Romance Pass is cheering. Constellation Plot Twist Maniac is clapping. Constellation Face Appraiser is expressing emotions. Teresa was helpless. The constellations called her by nicknames, Trendsetter and Unrivaled Influencer, Villainess BJ. This is the one and only reverse harem game that will capture your heart, God's Chessboard. Libby was very surprised by her own character setting. She thought she was just an ordinary girl, but she turned out to be the Duke's daughter. Returning to the arms of her family, who had always been searching for her. But in this huge mansion, heart-fluttering events with handsome guys await. The beginning of the flutter is the gentleness of Damian West, a commoner but the student council vice president. Next is Elijah Bernstein, a genius professor at Valhalla. She also could not escape the embrace of Clyde Willow, the heir to the Willow family. And the final trump card is Emperor Yuji Rodrigo, the ruler of the empire. But that happiness is fleeting, because her jealous sister is plotting to ruin her life. Her scary sister Teresa always hates her and tries to get rid of her. And that is what bothered Duke Squire. He angrily ordered, I can't take it anymore. Even if she is my daughter, take her away. Teresa was abandoned by her father. He took Libby and left, ignoring her desperate calls from behind. After that, Libby received everyone's love and had a happy ending. The author of this story, a girl, felt uneasy after just finishing the ending. This time the villain died too quickly again. God's Chessboard is a reverse harem game she had been developing for several months. Thanks to her dedication, the quality was not bad, but the villains were dealt with too easily, so there was no drama. She wondered, why do they keep dropping like flies? Did I create the characters too simply? As soon as she said that, she immediately opened the character settings. Teresa Squire, envious personality, becomes violent when things do not go her way, believes in superiority, bossy. After reading through it, she could only chuckle. Looking back, she had poured all the bad traits into here. This was not even a third-rate supporting character. She continued to study the script, then asked herself again, should I add more scenes of Duke Squire despising Teresa? After all, you can't let the villain receive family love, right? Honestly, it is a little funny to say that. So, for someone who is loved, does that mean the other person has to lack affection? The girl was about to write more when her hand suddenly froze. Because she herself had never been loved by her family. Honestly, she empathized with Teresa. The girl stretched and sighed, I am so tired, from thinking about nonsense all the time. Then she continued to work. Her hand rested on the mouse, then moved. I will check it again before going home. The girl opened the poster and admired it. She sighed inwardly, I am so tired of looking at this opening scene. Then suddenly a question flashed in her mind, but something's weird. Has Teresa always been in the opening scene? And why does it feel like there are more male leads? Her eyes suddenly darkened, and her head spun. Just a moment later, the scene had changed. The animations were still loading. At this moment, the Duke's voice rang out, wake up. The call successfully woke Teresa up. She was drenched in sweat. The girl sat up, wiped the sweat from her face, and asked blankly, what is wrong? The Duke frowned and asked, "Are you awake now?" Very quickly, the final image finished loading. Teresa called out in surprise, "Duke Raoul." The room was like a scene from a movie, a stranger with a familiar face. A cliché line, but it did not feel unfamiliar. The girl could not believe her eyes. This is ridiculous, it must be a dream, yeah, just a dream. If not, how could this terrible thing? As soon as the girl got out of bed, the system started displaying text, choose a channel name to start broadcasting. Channel name, Villainess BJ. The girl looked blankly at the words floating in the air, system window, and what does this mean, Villainess BJ? Before the girl could understand the problem, the words broadcast begins popped up. Constellations have joined the broadcast. This was the motif of the game the girl was developing, God's chessboard. There was never a setting where the girl would broadcast like a YouTube channel. But to this extent, the girl really had not thought of. Many constellations were accessing the broadcast, just like the so-called God's chessboard she created. Constellation Face Appraiser gave a round of applause for the BJ's appearance. While she was blankly staring, a powerful voice suddenly interrupted her thoughts, "Teresa. Not only do you get drunk because of a small matter like a broken engagement, but you also dare to disrespect your father. I may have agreed to it, but was not the reason for the annulment entirely. Your fault," he finished speaking and slapped Teresa hard across the face. The Duke continued to scold, "The young earl whom you treated like a slave earnestly begged me to cancel the engagement. Do you know how embarrassing that is?" The girl still thought this was just a dream, but suddenly, an illusion appeared behind her, and a voice rang out, "No, this is not a dream." Because now she seemed to have grasped the situation. "We should talk properly, should not we? I am the channel manager. You can call me Oswald," the man said confidently, sitting comfortably in a chair. But the girl could not hear his name clearly. She asked blankly, "Oh what, who are you?" "Not a character I created. Did that jerk drag me into this game?" He reassured her, "Don't worry, I am simply proposing a good deal to you." He presented a task list, reach the true ending of the hard mode. Then he continued to explain, "Although the reward is great, failure will lead to severe punishment." "Is that all you can do?" Suddenly she remembered her family. "I am very disappointed in you. Is it that hard to please your stepfather? Don't worry about the birthday, you know mom has to take care of the little ones, right? Why do not you try to get along with your siblings? Why does only mom have to suffer?" Oswald continued to explain the rules, BJs who can't play properly will be sent to hell. In your case, Shin Jaiwoo, hell means repeating your childhood infinitely. Just imagining it makes you shudder. Well, do not worry too much, after all, it is just the situation if you fail. God's chessboard mission, reach the true ending in hard mode. Reward, stop broadcasting. Failure, death. Shin Jaiwoo was extremely shocked by Oswald's words. Scene changed to the Duke's office. He asked helplessly, "How is she?" The butler quickly replied, "She will be fine after resting for a while." The Duke embraced his forehead in frustration and sighed, to think she fainted again right after waking up. The butler immediately replied, "That is because of accumulated stress." The Duke sighed and asked further, "Was the annulment that shocking?" He recalled his daughter's series of emotions when she heard that he had agreed to the annulment. "Father agreed to the Earl's annulment, you did not even ask me about it. I know you do not like me, but I did not think you would hurt me like this." Right after that sentence, Teresa fainted in the Duke's arms. Now, thinking back, the Duke felt remorseful. Did I also not act maturely, like a father who arbitrarily cuts off his adult daughter's engagement, even though her fiancé earnestly begged me? Feeling guilty, the Duke ordered, "Remove Teresa's house arrest." The butler immediately acknowledged the order, "Yes." The Duke reminded him further, "And when she wakes up, bring her some of her favorite snacks." On this side, Jaiwoo was vehemently arguing with Oswald, "I do not need it." Even so, he stubbornly introduced, "Shop, dream ticket, 1,000,000,001, wish for anything once." Jaiwoo still flatly refused, "I said I do not need it." Only Jaiwoo was not interested, everyone else the constellations were extremely excited and left comments, "Stop copying the ads," Oswald continued, "but it can fulfill anything you desire." Jaiwoo tiredly held her forehead, "Offer, enough, send me back to my original world, that is all I want." As soon as she finished speaking, Oswald appeared right behind her, then said in a low voice, "You can only do that with a dream ticket." Jai was startled and turned around, then he jumped onto the chair, as if there had never been any movement. "Surprising, I thought you would definitely agree. Isn't this a great deal? Because you created all the characters of God's chessboard. Witnessing the true ending with one of them should be extremely easy for you." Hearing that, Jai was shouted, "It is exactly the opposite, you jerk. The female lead Libby is loved by everyone just by breathing. While Teresa is an evil woman created to highlight Libby, no matter what Jaiwoo does, the truth won't change. Because that is exactly what she wrote, a world that revolves only around the female lead. With all the love focused entirely on her, there is no way a worldview created over many sleepless nights can easily collapse. Teresa reaching the ending with one of the romance targets is impossible. Is that really the only way to return? Jaiwo wondered. Oswald observed her, then spoke again. Finally, instead of that uncomfortably calm look, you have made an expression that I like. Don't think too deeply. If you see the true ending and finish the broadcast safely, you will become a part of this world, but if it is not that appealing, then collect a dream ticket worth 1 billion won. And return to your original world. If you can't even do that much, would not that be really disappointing? Natural disasters and wars, betrayal and revenge. When you have satisfied the constellations with the gore genre, you are the main character of my first romance channel. Please do not forget that I sincerely hope for your success. So I hope you will become a BJ on a big channel, Miss Shin Jaiwo. After Oswald finished speaking, the illusion also disappeared. Jaiwo also woke up in Lady Teresa's luxurious room. The maid hurriedly ran over. Lady Teresa, you are awake, because I thought it would be uncomfortable, I changed your nightgown. I also cleaned up all the bottles. The maid was about to say more when she was swallowed by Jaiwo's sharp gaze. She immediately apologized. I am sorry, I was rude. I will bring the wine right away. Please forgive me, it was just accidental. Jaiwo did not bother paying attention to the maid and asked, where's my father, the Duke? Perhaps he is in the office, miss. Hearing this, Jaiwo got out of bed. The maid hurriedly followed. Lady Teresa, where are you going dressed like that, Lady Teresa? Constellation Romance Pass donated 100 coins, when will the male lead appear? Jaiwo glanced and cursed under her breath, male lead my ass. This is not even easy mode, it is hard mode. And if you die in hard mode, it is a loss. But trying to conquer the male lead as Teresa is hopeless. In that case, if Jaiwo wants to survive, the only thing she can do is find the Duke. Jaiwo immediately ran to the office, calling, Father. I have something to tell you. The Duke was a little surprised by her appearance. He immediately corrected her, where do you think you are in that nightgown, Donovan, leave. I never have a peaceful day with you. What silly trick are you planning to pull again? Jaiwo did not mind those words. She directly got to the main point, I saw Libby recently. The Duke was stunned, what did you say? She immediately replied, she looks exactly like my stepmother when she was young. The child who disappeared when she was only 2 years old, my sister. Libby is still alive. The Duke quickly sent people to bring Libby back. Very quickly, the girl was brought to the mansion. We have arrived, welcome back. Under everyone's expectant gaze, Libby stepped down. The Duke and Duchess could not believe their eyes. Libby was bewildered as the butler led her into the mansion. As soon as she saw her, the Duchess immediately ran over and hugged her tightly. People around them also began to exclaim, oh my, it really is Miss Libby. I can't believe she is returned safely. Thank God for bringing her back. A few days before that, it was on the day that Jaiwo was pulled here, she immediately changed the script by running to the office and telling the Duke that, my sister, who is missing. Libby is still alive. Constellation Romance Fest tried to stop her. Why are you doing something that is detrimental to yourself? When your sister returns, you will be treated like an outcast. Jaiwo knew, it was natural to think that way, because it was the truth, but she did not care what happened after Libby returned. But before that, Jaiwo made a condition. I will tell you where I saw her, so please, allow me to stay in the Valhalla dormitory. Valhalla Magic Academy, this is the prestigious academy that plays a major role in God's chessboard, the place where Teresa can meet not only one, but all 3 male leads. This is the perfect reason to escape from the Duke's house. Comments began to stir again, is she trying to escape because she sees too many death flags at home? Will a male lead appear now? I want to see the BJ wearing a uniform, I bet it will look great. This is a deal, a very Teresa-like deal. Raoul knew better than anyone that he had no reason to lie in this situation. The Duke asked in surprise, you are requesting an exchange with your father's grief, and it. But then he did not finish the sentence, but decided immediately, okay, I will prepare a dormitory for you. However, the official agreement will only come after I verify the truth. In the meantime, stay put. If Libby really returns, I will host a party. And that party really did take place. Everyone was gathering to congratulate the Duke and Duchess. Oh my, she really looks just like the Duchess. She was very excited to hold Miss Libby in her arms. I also could not stop myself from crying. I bet no one was not moved by that scene. The whole party was very lively, except for Jaiwo, who was just sitting bored in a corner after slapping the blonde guy in chapter 1. Seeing it in person, it is not very impressive. I should have put more effort into the opening scene. It is too exaggerated. The constellation started typing again. Constellation Mr. Explain It All donated 100 coins, she does not forgive anyone who goes too far. Like the noble who mocked the BJ earlier. Constellation MBTI is science donated 100. Jaiwo was surprised. The constellations also believe in pseudoscience. How do they even know my MBTI, Mr. Explain It All donated 100 coins. The Earth broadcast channel is the most famous. So there is no way we would not know. Jaiwo was even more surprised. Earth broadcast. Is this a party where you do not eat anything? Will a male lead appear at this party? Who are you planning to find? That dog again. Jaiwo was reading comments and interacting with everyone. One question at a time, everyone. I will also answer one question at a time, but I won't say the most important thing, she thought to herself. Regardless of the constellation's expectations, Jaiwo had no intention of pursuing anyone. Her goal was, the hidden ending, paradise, an ending that was added as fan service for veteran players of God's chessboard. The condition was to eliminate all risks that cause bad endings for the male lead, so it is very difficult to achieve, but now, that is the only way she can survive. The only true ending that can be achieved without involving any male lead. At this moment, the Duke raised his glass again and spoke, everyone, please pay attention. My beloved daughter has finally returned. Tonight, everyone, please eat and drink to your heart's content. The nobles began to surround Libby, flattering her, Miss Libby, you look so beautiful tonight, welcome back. Everyone was busy chatting and praising Libby, no one paying attention to Lady Teresa's presence. But Jaiwo was not feeling sorry for herself because of that. She was busy paying attention to these troublesome system things. Constellation Drama Mania donated 100 coins, aren't you jealous? I bet an inferiority complex is burning inside you. Jaiwo replied immediately after reading it, your personality is exactly like your name. There is no reason to be jealous, Jaiwo thought to herself. She is the female lead that Jaiwo created with many wishes poured into her. After all, that position was never mine. Suddenly someone approached Jaiwo to start a conversation, I wonder what you are muttering about. Jaiwo was a little surprised. The boy continued to question, what are you plotting? Even though he was small, the boy showed an unpleasant attitude towards Jaiwo. This is the current youngest son of Duchess Rosen. His name is Giuseppe Squire, a legendary magic genius who has been attracting attention at academies since he was only 13 years old. Jaiwo wondered, why is he picking a fight with me? Seeing that she did not answer, Giuseppe pointed at Jaiwo and shouted loudly, you. I heard everything. You were arguing with that uncle earlier. Don't act nice, do you think I do not know you hate Sister Libby? Even though Giuseppe was very rude, Jaiwo just sighed and replied, it is sister, not you, Giuseppe. The boy jumped up again, what did you say? Seeing that the boy seemed stubborn, she moved closer to him. Jaiwo had only just bent down to talk to Giuseppe at eye level, the boy's cheeks were already flushed, what is it? At this time, Jaiwo suddenly remembered her sibling in the real world, do you really think doing this will make Dad acknowledge you? You will never be a part of this family. Thinking that way, Jaiwo did not hate Squire at all, she even thought he was still very cute. Giuseppe, although still speaking loudly, his tone had changed slightly, what do you mean by that just now? Jaiwo slowly replied, Giuseppe, you really just look like Teresa's little brother. The boy stammered and asked, what? Jaiwo explained again, I mean, you are completely my little brother. This word again continued to excite Giuseppe, he shouted. Shut up, since when were you my sister? I do not like you at all. As the two were talking, a woman's figure suddenly appeared. Duchess Rosen stepped forward and gently reminded the two of them, there are guests here, what is with the noise? As soon as she saw her, Jaiwo recognized her immediately. She is here to find Giuseppe. So you are with Teresa, now go back to your seat. Giuseppe quickly replied, yes, and ran into the party. Duchess Rosen watched the boy, then sighed, that kid is still too young. Did Giuseppe make you uncomfortable? I am sorry. Jaiwo quickly replied, you do not need to apologize, mother. Hearing that, the Duchess smiled, is that so? You look upset, so I. What are you worried about? For example, Libby's return makes you uncomfortable. Even though she was still smiling, her words were like a sharp knife pointed directly at Jaiwo. Jaiwo had put a lot of effort into shaping Rosen's personality. On the outside, she seemed kind and gentle. But she was a mother who was willing to get blood on her hands for her daughter. If she thought that Jaiwo was a threat to Libby, she would not hesitate to attack her. The Duchess no longer had a gentle look, instead, a cold look with no affection. Teresa, tell me honestly, what do you think of Libby? But Jaiwo was not afraid at all. She would not let her be defeated without a fight. Jaiwo also acted friendly and politely replied, don't worry, mother. I plan to leave the Duke's mansion. Duchess Rosen asked in surprise, what do you mean? She bluntly replied, stepmother has won. I did not become the heir after all, huh? I have enrolled in the Valhalla dormitory. I won't be coming home until graduation. I will be vacating the position of heir soon. With that, Jaiwo left, leaving Duchess Rosen standing there. A few days later, Jaiwo was cleaning her room. She loudly scolded, what are you doing? Do you think you will finish arranging the room today at this speed? Move the furniture over there. Make sure to clean it thoroughly. At this time a maid hurriedly ran over. Miss, the new carpet you ordered has arrived. Jaiwo questioned. It is made of the highest quality wool, right? The maid quickly replied, yes. Then put it down carefully. Decorating Libby's room all morning made Jaiwo feel hungry. Constellation-seeking BJ Mukbang donated 100 coins, please eat something. I will throw 500 coins if you do. Jaiwo read the comment and thought to herself, my goal is the hidden ending, but I should also collect as much money as possible, just in case. Thinking that way, she immediately waved her hand and called, you, wait. What was that supporting character's name again? Penny, can you bring me some snacks? Hearing her question, the maids froze, all looking at her suspiciously. Jaiwo also felt it. What is with the sudden change in atmosphere? Do they think Teresa is going to torture the maids again? But she did not pay much attention to it. Jaiwo added, I will be in the study as usual, so bring it there when it is ready. After that, Jaiwo turned around and left. So this is the life of a villain. Jaiwo went to the study alone. After entering, she immediately closed the door. Then she opened the status window. A brief summary of Teresa Squire appeared. Lady of the Squire family, 21 years old, magic rank B, intelligence C+, mana A. Jaiwo did this because she wanted to confirm that her guess was right. If there is a shop, there must be a status window. It seems like I was right. Exactly as I set it up, the constellations are curious about what the BJ is thinking. Jaiwo immediately replied to the comment, I am thinking about Teresa's settings. With that, Teresa tried to use magic again. Oh little flame, burn like a candle. Although Teresa is not smart, she makes up for it with abundant mana, a reluctant mage. Even Jaiwo had to admire this bonus setting. The constellations laughed at the BJ's pure expression. Constellation the spoiled one really likes her reaction to a world with magic. Jaiwo was secretly pleased. I really do not need to practice, and I can still use magic. Constellation Mr. Explain it all nodded. With that much mana, it would be strange if you could not use magic. Jaiwo immediately set a goal, so the only stat I should focus on is intelligence. The constellations are curious about what the BJ is talking about. Jaiwo began to study books. In the world of the divine game, magic is based on formulas. Setting up the formula is like math. The higher the level of magic, the more complex the formula required. The magic books already have complete logical development. If Jaiwo puts her mind to it, she might achieve something amazing. Constellation sorry, I am bad at math, donated 100 coins, what are you talking about, bookworm? Jaiwo replied while reading the book, basically, having a lot of mana does not mean you are good at using magic. To use high-level magic, you need to read spell books and improve your knowledge, but because Teresa hates books more than anything, she never shined despite her talent. Constellation conspiracy theorist laughed with interest and left a comment, has the BJ hidden her true strength? If she improves her knowledge, she might save the world. Jaiwo immediately refused, not interested. I just need to raise it to at least a B+ level. While talking with the constellations, a maid unexpectedly pushed open the door. Lady Teresa, I brought your food. Jaiwo waved her hand, just put it there. The maid was flustered, where should I put it? The little girl closed her eyes in fear, I am sorry, I am too clumsy. But there was no rage. Jaiwo gently replied, it is okay, you did well, Penny. The maid looked at her with even more excitement after hearing that. At this time, the head maid Miranda also stepped forward from behind. Lady Teresa. Is there anything that displeases you? Jaiwo wondered, what is she doing here? But then she just answered her question perfunctorily and continued reading the book. That is good, however. Miranda added, I never thought you would remember the name of an ordinary maid, miss. Because she is the maid you noticed, I will personally supervise her training. Jaiwo was puzzled again, noticed, what is she talking about? Immediately after, the murmuring voices of the maids reached Jaiwo's ears, I am so jealous. Why are you jealous? You better go serve Miss Libby. You must be new here, listen. Lady Teresa never remembers anyone's name, especially the maids. She could meet them for 10 years and still not recognize their faces. But there are exactly 2 maids that she remembered from the beginning, head maid Miranda, and butler Donovan. That is what we call natural instinct. It is not just that she is stupid, the truth is she only remembers people who are capable. Constellation conspiracy theorist left a comment. She's been playing a long game. Is she planning to control everything? Jaiwo tiredly held her head, what the hell am I doing? Sunlight streamed through the window, filtering into the small room. Head maid Miranda still had not left. She continued, by the way, Lady Teresa. The Duke asked me to send a message to you. He asked if you would like to have dinner in the dining room with him tonight. Jaiwo was slightly surprised, that is sudden. He never cared whether I came or not. But just 1 second later, she understood the problem. He remembered. February 20th. Today is Teresa's birthday. The day she officially turned 22. Teresa quickly arrived at the dining room. The Duke's voice rang out, "You are here, Teresa. Come, sit down." Teresa was quite surprised by the Duke's attitude today. Her seat was prepared far away from everyone else. Even so, Teresa sat down, then spoke. "It seems like father is in a good mood. This is ridiculous, but I am the one who changed the original story." The Duke quickly replied to her, "Today is a very happy day." The Duke saying this made Teresa slightly expect something. But then he announced, "Today, Libby's blood test results came back." The statement immediately woke Teresa up from her dream. She gave a bitter smile. "I knew it, there is no way they would remember Teresa's birthday." Duchess Rosen continued, "I still can't believe it. This is truly the epitome of a happy family, but without Teresa." Giuseppa also happily asked, "Sister Libby, can you come to Valhalla next semester?" It was those words that made Teresa realize the usual isolation and indifference. The Duke gently asked Libby, "What do you want as a homecoming gift, Libby?" That meant this was another forgotten birthday. Constellation Macadamania was very disappointed. Constellation Cinder Taste left because they were bored. Constellation Loving Romance asked when the male lead would finally appear. All of it proved that Teresa was redundant, but even so, Jaiwa wanted to demand something for her. "Father, can I also ask for a gift? The most difficult part is coming. I have something I want to buy. If you could give me some money." Before she could finish speaking, the Duke interrupted, "We will talk about that later. On a happy day like today, I do not want to get angry." Jaiwa put down her fork and replied indifferently, "Then when is it appropriate to talk to you, father? Do you even have time to listen to me?" She had only said 2 sentences, and the Duke was already angry. He slammed the table and scolded loudly, "Teresa, your sister just came back. And you are complaining about money, to spend on something trivial." This situation immediately caused the comments to explode. Constellation Cinder Pass urged her to say that today was her birthday. Constellation Macadamania criticized, asking why she did not throw the beef at his face. Constellation Loving Romance said that the male lead would save her and then a big party would take place. Honestly, Jaiwa did not want to do something pathetic by saying it herself. This scene was no different from Jaiwa's world. "Your sister has a competition. Do you think your birthday is important right now? Don't make things difficult for mom." Either way, they said a day like that is not important anyway. Again, the scene of the eldest daughter not being loved. Jaiwa lamented inwardly, "If I had known I was going to transmigrate into Teresa, I would not have set it up like this." But then Jaiwa still decided to say it, "Today is my birthday. I do not want to cause trouble for father, since you do not remember anyway." The Duke immediately blamed her. "How old are you now, blaming your father for your birthday?" As soon as he finished speaking, the Duke felt uneasy. Maybe this is a little harsh. If she makes trouble here. Jaiwa also had no intention of refuting this criticism. She stood up, then continued, "I think I said something I should not have said. I will take my leave. Allowing you to do so is enough of a birthday gift for you." The Duke's gaze towards her seemed to have changed something. But he could not realize it. Even in such a miserable scene, Jaiwa could only blame herself. "Who can I blame? I am the one who wrote it." Was he angry because Teresa talked back? Just as she was about to leave, the Duke spoke again, "I do not intend to let something like that be the gift." Jaiwa could not help but be surprised when she heard this. "What?" The Duke had become more gentle than ever before. He said, "If you are tired, go back to your room first. I will send you a blank check. If you need anything, just use it to pay." This information made Jaiwa even more stunned. "A blank check?" She replied in confusion, "No, that is a little." The Duke had no intention of letting her continue. He continued, "You are a daughter of the Squire family, and you think a blank check is too much. Of course, he is really serious. A check from the Squire family could buy an entire mine. If it was Libby, it would not be anything, but why give it to a professional liar like Teresa?" The Duke still had not stopped. He added, "If you really hate it, then just refuse." Jaiwa was very decisive. She replied immediately, "No, I will gladly accept it. I thank you, father." With that, Teresa turned around and left. "Is he concerned about me because Libby is here?" If so, there was no reason to refuse. Before walking out of the dining room, Teresa did not forget to greet Libby. "Welcome home, Libby." "Thank you, sister. Today must be a meaningful day for Libby. I have ruined the mood. I will take my leave first. Enjoy your time with the family." Jaiwa went out to the hall. The atmosphere became silent again. The chat window exploded again. Constellation Cinder Taste donated 101, delicious, more. Constellation Loving Romance donated 101, there is no male lead. But I am still following, amazing. Constellation Speed Up donated 101, I am going to die, I will lie down here. Constellation Macadamania donated 101, please let the channel level up to bronze, it is driving me crazy. I can only donate 101 at a time. However, Jaiwo's body was gradually weakening at this time. Very quickly, Jaiwo's broadcast channel reached 10,001, the fastest in donations. New constellations were joining, they would never be disappointed, Cinder is the best. Did the family member have feelings for the streamer or something? From now on, just follow this. From a life. Always longing for the love of others. Jaiwo thought she had finally escaped it. As expected, it was still impossible. Jaiwo was gradually losing consciousness at this time. Oswald appeared again. You really are the BJ I had high expectations for. Congratulations, your channel has ranked up, Miss Shin Jaiwo. Oswald seriously introduced. There are a total of 5 channel ranks. In order, they are bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and finally diamond. While Oswald was introducing, everything around him stopped. Jaiwo wondered curiously. Time stop. Oswald was still diligently speaking. Each time the channel ranks up, the maximum donation amount also increases 10 times. Teresa grasped the key point and asked, if so, because I have ranked up to the silver channel, does that mean I can receive up to 1,001 per donation? That is right. Teresa asked in confusion, are there really BJs who buy dream tickets? Even if you reach the diamond rank, the maximum amount of one is only 1 million. How can you collect enough 1 billion won and buy that ticket? Oswald replied with a smile, of course. With that, he tapped his staff on the ground. The scene immediately distorted. Magic enveloped both of them. Teresa faltered and clung to Oswald. Oswald spoke again. The streamers that I have chosen have all succeeded in buying that ticket. So you can too. Jaiwo's arm was held by him. Immediately after, he took her to a large door. He spoke while walking into that door with her. A moment later, the two arrived at the study again. Oswald used magic to take out countless magic books. Is learning magic fun? I brought the knowledge of a space with many upgraded magic knowledges. Here. It seems like you quite like it. Even though she had landed safely, Oswald still had not let go of Jaiwo's hand. She immediately struggled, let go quickly. Oh, I forgot. Oswald quickly released the binding spell between the two of them, then added, you do not look well, so there is no other way. Jaiwo avoided answering, I just tried too hard. She thought to herself, magic does not work at all. So I can't resist the channel manager, right? Oswald read the book for a while then turned to ask Jaiwo, are you used to this body yet? You have been quite proactive. Jaiwo did not beat around the bush, she said bluntly, I need 1 billion won, that is good. Do you have something to do with me? Hearing her question, Oswald was a little dazed, something. Jaiwo continued to question, there must be a reason you pulled me out, even stopping time during an ad. In just a moment, Oswald regained his composure, then replied, I do not have anything to do with you. Hearing that, Jaiwo was even more confused. She asked in confusion, then why did you appear? Oswald replied in an obvious tone, as the channel manager, I have a duty to check on you. He spoke while slowly approaching Jaiwo. Oswald pushed Jaiwo into a corner, then said again, most people usually like it. With just a little trick, Oswald realized. Oh Jaiwo, do not you like being close to me? The channel manager. Jaiwo thought in confusion, he is on a different level than the constellations. If this guy decides to become unstable, I will disappear immediately. Like he is deleting unnecessary data, with just one gesture. After asking, Oswald waited for Jaiwo's reaction. Even though she did not want to, Jaiwo was trying to force herself to do as he wanted. But it seemed like Oswald realized it. It seems like you hate pretending to be close, huh? Well, I understand that feeling. Jaiwo interrupted Oswald as he was speaking. She said softly, I am afraid of you. These 3 words made Oswald a little surprised. He stared at her with wide eyes. Jaiwo then continued, I do not know if you are a trustworthy person, that is all. After hearing that, Oswald's mouth broke into a smile, you are being honest, huh? Jaiwo spoke her inner thoughts to him. Because what was the point of hiding it, anyway? He could see through her. After hearing that, Oswald burst out laughing. His hand gently reached out to stroke her hair, you still have not realized your position, huh? You and I are not the kind of people who can trust and rely on each other. Jaiwo, you are just a toy, right? From now on, I will call you Teresa, so you will understand your situation better. Hearing that, Jaiwo could only curse Oswald inwardly, that bastard. She was about to scold him when Oswald stopped her. I should go back now. Unintentionally, it seems like the ad was longer than I thought. With that, he snapped his fingers. Everything continued as if nothing had happened. The tea tray in Penny's hand, due to the time stop, only fell now. The girl cried out in fear, oh my, the teacup broke. Inside the study, Oswald was still trying to remind Jaiwo, don't forget your role, if you want to be loved. While talking normally, Oswald unexpectedly pulled her into his arms. Then he kissed her goodbye. Jaiwo was stunned, and quickly pushed him away. What? Oswald did not mention that anymore, he said, now I will bring the constellations back in. Jaiwo actually wanted to hold him back, she hurriedly called out, hey, wait. But just as he stepped out of the door, He disappeared without a trace. See you next time, Teresa. Only 2 maids were left, busy cleaning up. Jaiwoo was overwhelmed, her eyes showed obvious surprise. He is gone. The maid saw this expression and quickly apologized. Miss, I am sorry. I broke the teacup, I will clean it up right away. Jaiwoo did not say anything, but her face showed obvious fatigue. She thought to herself that even if she had been looking forward to it, there was one thing she was sure of: if there is a way to overthrow him, I will never hesitate. That thought had only just passed, and Teresa's body started to stand unsteadily again. In just a blink of an eye, her whole body had no strength left, and fell down right in front of the Duke. He hurriedly ran over. It seemed that after each encounter with Oswald, Teresa in this world would fall into an inexplicably exhausted state. The Duke brought Jaiwoo back to her room. He asked worriedly, "How is Teresa?" The personal doctor quickly replied, "She just fell asleep a moment ago. She fainted from dizziness. We prescribed some medicine, so she will recover soon." After the doctor left, the Duke looked around Teresa's room and confided in Donovan, "How can a daughter of the Squire family be in such a secluded room? There are many better rooms than this, why is not she in another room?" Donovan said kindly, "I am sorry, Miss insisted on staying in this room." Hearing that, the Duke could not help but think, an empty room at the end of the hallway that is rarely visited. Would a truly arrogant Teresa choose such a room? It was at this moment that he truly realized what he had done. He sadly blamed himself. "Have I really been so indifferent to Teresa?" Donovan immediately denied, "Not at all, you have always tried your best." The Duke sat by the bed and carefully looked at his young daughter. Now he realized, "I have always believed that I was never wrong. When I looked into her eyes today, my chest ached strangely. I even wondered if she was provoking me in some other way, because Teresa is incorrigibly stubborn. But then, something was very strange. She was behaving very differently than before." Donovan exclaimed, "Well, Miss is 22 years old now after all." These words reminded the Duke of the image of his little daughter from the past. Teresa was very obedient, father. But now, for some reason, his daughter had become stubborn. He sighed and said, "That is right. She is 22 years old." He did not know how much time had passed. Finally Jaiwoo woke up. As soon as she woke up, she read the comments again. Cinder Pass donated 1,001, the timing of her illness is perfect. The whole universe is helping this broadcast. Conspiracy Theorist donated 1,001. Everything was planned by the BJ, haha, Roel is just dancing in the palm of her hand. Jaiwoo read a series and did not understand any of them. She asked blankly, "What are these things?" Notification windows automatically disappear within a certain time. That means these gifts are only from recently. Are people just going around donating gifts all the time, seriously? At this time, the maids also realized she was awake, all hurriedly ran over to ask, "Lady Teresa, are you feeling better?" Jaiwoo was a little surprised by the maids' different appearances. Are they Teresa's maids? Even so, Jaiwoo did not bother to ask much. She calmly replied, "Yeah, I am fine. Can you help me get ready?" "Yes." The maids started to prepare Jaiwoo. At this time, a knock suddenly came from outside. Who could it be? Who would come at this hour? Jaiwoo immediately stood up, then spoke to allow them in. "Come in." As soon as the door opened, a team of many people, with many new furniture in their hands. One of them quickly informed Jaiwoo, "Miss, the new furniture has arrived." Jaiwoo froze stiffly. What is this now? The workers were very productive. He hurriedly asked for permission. "We have moved everything in. Can we leave the door open while we arrange the furniture?" Jaiwoo asked blankly. Why suddenly add all this perfect furniture? He hurriedly replied, "The head of the family said these things are not worthy of your status and ordered them to be replaced entirely." Hearing the word status, Jaiwoo was slightly surprised, since when did Teresa have status? But very quickly she was able to accept everything. "Well, it is not like I am paying for it, so whatever. Even if it is a little strange that Raoul cares so much about Teresa. Okay, I understand. Well, maybe this is the only time." Hearing that, he proposed further, "Please calm down, miss. Please go down to the garden until everything is finished." The garden, yes, the Duke said he has something he wants to give you. It is a birthday gift from the Duke. Butler Donovan solemnly brought the carriage to Jaiwoo. She was shocked again. "Is this my personal carriage?" "Yes." Jaiwoo was confused. "No way, this must be. I even have a blank check. A carriage is a little too much." Donovan kindly explained further, "The Duke had it made especially as a birthday gift for you. The Duke does not think this is too extravagant." This was probably the first gift she had ever received, so Jaiwoo must have been quite confused, but I think this is. Seeing her like that, the constellation started typing, "Haha bus donated 1,001, I have found my shelter." The materialist sent a round of applause. Jaiwoo hurriedly confirmed her memory. "I did not add the detail that Teresa had a personal carriage. This should have been the carriage that Libby received on her birthday." While Jaiwa was unsure how to react, Duke Raoul's voice echoed from afar, "All of this is your birthday present." He slowly walked towards her. Not only the Duke, but also Duchess Rosen and her youngest brother Giuseppe were there. "How are you feeling?" Jaiwa quickly replied, "I am fine now." The Duke immediately followed up, "That is a relief." As soon as Jaiwa saw the entire Duke's family, thoughts raced through her mind. Does he feel guilty for forgetting my birthday? But it is Teresa's birthday, of course. He would forget. The Duke continued, "Do you like the carriage?" Although Jaiwa did not understand what was happening, she quickly responded to her father's question politely. "Yes, I like it very much." "Thank you, father." Even though she was not sure, accepting it won't hurt. Seeing the distant manner Jaiwa showed him, the wrinkles on the father's face deepened slightly, and then he said, "I understand." Jaiwa was very perceptive. She could answer her father while also observing Giuseppe. He wants to get a closer look. Well, I guess this is the age when boys are obsessed with cars. So Jaiwa stepped forward and offered, "You can come closer and take a look. This is the first time you have seen this kind of carriage, right?" As soon as the door was opened, Giuseppe exclaimed, "Wow." As if programmed, Jaiwa began to spout out a series of technical details about the carriage. Compared to other carriages, the interior design seems simple. But the simpler something looks, the more advanced the technology required to create it is. It is made of heat-resistant and warm materials, so even though it looks simple, it is very expensive. It is also quite light, which reduces will shock, so it is safer. Only after Jaiwa finished speaking did she realize she had slipped up, and her face immediately flushed red. A comment appeared, "Sorry, I am a science expert, I gave 1,000 coins. More technical knowledge again. Maybe there is no need to talk about technology." Giuseppe immediately turned to Jaiwa and asked, "How do you know all that?" Just when Jaiwa was stuck and did not know how to explain, her savior appeared. All eyes turned towards the little girl. Libby timidly stepped forward. Jaiwa glanced around, waiting for Libby's next action. As for why Jaiwa knew so much, it was because she and her team had worked hard to create this carriage. A beloved young lady, especially made for Libby. Libby stepped forward and praised, "This carriage is so beautiful." Jaiwa gently replied, "Yeah, I know." She recognized Libby's difference at a glance, but it seemed like she was not looking at it at all. "Should I go back?" Jaiwa had just thought it, and the words immediately came out, "I am going back to my room." Hearing that Jaiwa wanted to go back to her room, Libby seemed a little flustered. She quickly called out, "Sister." "Wait a moment." The little girl hurried over and grabbed Jaiwa's arm. Then, Libby timidly took out the gift she had prepared for her sister. "Please accept it. It is nothing special, but it is a birthday present I prepared." Jaiwa now remembered the story's plot. Ah, so it is today. The event where Libby realizes Teresa's birthday is late and gives her a gift. In the original story, Teresa did not even look at it and threw it on the ground. If I do that now, I will be heading straight for the door to death. Thinking so, Jaiwa immediately did the opposite. She happily accepted the gift from Libby's hand. "Will you open it?" Libby nodded excitedly. The gift inside was not of high value, but it was very meaningful. Did she make it herself? Maybe because she is skilled, she is very meticulous. Jaiwa took the gift, then gently praised, "It is beautiful, thank you." "Should you try it on?" Libby nodded shyly again. Jaiwa put the bracelet on her wrist, and then said, "It is very beautiful, thank you." Hearing these words from her sister, Libby's eyes lit up, and she quickly replied, "I am so happy. I was very worried because I did not know your size." Duchess Rosen, who had been watching all this time, finally spoke up. "Your heart is admirable, but it is still a little lacking for the eldest daughter of the Squire family." Jaiwa was again surprised by the Duchess. She looked at her suspiciously. "What?" Duchess Rosen took off the bracelet on her wrist. "This is part of the dowry I brought when I got married. Maybe it does not match today's jewelry, but it is a high-quality aquamarine jade bracelet." She gently put the bracelet on Jaiwa's wrist. "I just remembered now, I am late with my congratulations. Happy birthday, Teresa." Jaiwa had responded smoothly the previous 2 times, but when she met Duchess Rosen's eyes, Jaiwa did not know what she should do, what she should say at this moment. This scene is not in the original story. This is also the first time I have received a gift full of sincerity. At this time, the Duke in the back spoke up. "At least you should say thank you." His voice startled Jaiwa. "That is a mistake. Raoul can't stand it when Teresa is rude to his wife." Jaiwa quickly apologized, "I was rude. Thank you for the gift." She said worriedly, "This is the first time I have received something like this. I will accept it with gratitude. I am sorry, but I will take my leave first." With that, Jaiwa hurriedly turned around and left. Duke Raoul was startled. He realized that he had unintentionally hurt his daughter, so he said in confusion, "Wait, Teresa." But no matter how he called out, she did not stop. Jaiwa ran away as fast as she could. She did not even dare to look back. The constellation started commenting again. Constellation Macnamia gifted 1,000 coins. Constellation Hahabuz gifted 1,000 coins. Constellation Romance Lover gifted 1,000 coins. Jaiwa ran while thinking in a confused manner. Libby, who still does not know how to take advantage of the Squire family's wealth, simply does what she can. And Rosen acted wisely. So Libby's innocent gift won't be used to turn against her. Jaiwa ran all the way to the lake before stopping, looking at Teresa's face rippling in the water. She thought sadly, I also know it is because I was not raised with love. I tend to overvalue things that are nothing. I do not even know my own place. Scene changes to the next day, still at the Squire family's residence. It was not completely dark yet. Jaiwu and the maids were getting ready, and everything was quickly completed. Everything is ready, miss. Penny looked at Jaiwu in the mirror and praised, you look very beautiful today too. The girl-crazy constellations were again eagerly waiting for hints. Is this true beauty? My heart is fluttering. Constellation face expert gifted 1,000 coins. Jaiwu looked at herself in the mirror, thinking faintly, these over-the-top people, it is just the face they see every day. At this time, Penny asked curiously, but is not tomorrow the first day of school? Why are you dressing up like this today? Jaiwu smiled and replied, oh, it is nothing. I just need to buy a few things at the auction event. As everyone knows or does not, the key to dimensions, that is necessary to get to the heaven seal. When we use the key to open the door to a specific location, the random ratio is very low. To discover paradise. Hearing that Jaiwu was going to the auction, Penny's face immediately became worried. Will you be okay, because it is an auction event, Count Fabio might also participate. Hearing this name, Jaiwu was blank for 2 seconds. Fabio, who is that? But immediately after, she remembered, that is Teresa's ex-fiancé. That is Teresa's fiancé, not Jaiwu's, so she does not care much. It can't be avoided, anyway, I am the reason for the broken engagement. Seeing this, Penny thought Jaiwu was sad, so she quickly apologized. I am sorry for mentioning this again. You must still be emotional. I am fine. Okay, I am leaving now. What Jaiwu cared about was the key. And the first place that key appears is, tonight, at the auction event in the St. Rio Hotel. Jaiwu was walking down the stairs when she ran into Giuseppe standing there. Why is he here at this hour? The boy still looked at her with a hateful gaze. He looks angry. As soon as he saw Jaiwu, Giuseppe shouted, you are going to the auction event. What is with that dress? What is wrong? Do I look strange? Jaiwu looked at herself suspiciously. I think this dress suits me. Giuseppe cleared his throat, the dress, ahem. As he spoke, he used magic to modify Jaiwu's dress. With each step, it would sparkle like stars in the sky. This action of the boy made Jaiwu even more confused. Even though Giuseppe still showed that he did not like Jaiwu on the surface, he helped her get ready. Now it is a little more acceptable. Constellation conspiracy theorist gifted 1,000 coins. That guy has completely fallen for her. Scene changes to the place where the auction was taking place. Many nobles were gathered and chatting here. At this moment, a magnificent blue carriage appeared right in front of the gate, attracting everyone's attention. That carriage is quite luxurious. Is that royalty? Looking at the insignia, it must be the Squire Duke family. All eyes were on the girl getting out of the carriage. If so, could it be Miss Teresa Squire? Just as they guessed, Teresa got out of the carriage in a gorgeous manner. A member of the royalty stepped forward and bowed respectfully to greet her. We have been waiting for you, Miss Teresa Squire. This way, please. Teresa's appearance caused quite a stir. I heard she was coming today, but I did not expect it to be true. Oh my god, but what is that sparkling dress? It leaves traces, like a fairy. A man suddenly spoke up, mocking her. She must want attention. Who can deal with a girl who spends money wastefully like that? No wonder she got her engagement broken off. Jaiwu heard all those words. She glanced at them, but did not say anything. Her gaze made the group terrified. Jaiwu thought to herself, a character I do not even remember. An ordinary side character who touches the villainess with countless death flags. The constellations continued to jump in with comments. Constellation Pro Backseater gifted 1,000 coins to shut those annoying people up. It makes her weak. I said it all. Jaiwu will definitely not let it go, she ordered Eloise, her maid, yes miss. Jaiwu will avoid taking action directly, but she will definitely not let go of these things. Find out which family they belong to, and if we meet again, let them know we will remove their names from the list of nobles. Eloise immediately replied, yes miss, I will handle it as you specify. Then Jaiwu returned to a happy state as usual and said, now let us go shopping. Constellation Cinder Taste gifted 1,000 coins, broadcasting full volume 100% satisfaction, entering the party, a splendid and luxurious room with many nobles gathering here. Eloise excitedly exclaimed, I only heard rumors about parties like this. Only the most special families can even be eligible to come here. Jaiwo also thought to herself, even in the upper class there is a clear class, most nobles must have VIP to use this place. At this time Jaiwo turned to Eloise and said, there is no need for servants here, so everyone just be natural and do not attract too much attention, the maids excitedly exclaimed. Really, then I will go nearby, if you need anything, just call me miss. Although Jaiwo did not want to attract attention, but her appearance was already attracting attention, she has really attracted a lot of attention. They are all famous nobles and some people with higher status than Teresa. There is no shortage of people who want to use this opportunity to please her. Teresa was standing there when suddenly someone passed by and bumped into her. He said with an attitude, I just wanted to turn around a bit and... But as soon as he turned around, he caught Jaiwo's eyes, and he immediately froze. Immediately after, a scream rang out, and everyone's eyes turned to her again. That person quickly knelt down, stuttering, Miss Teresa, I am sorry, I dared to look at you with these eyes, please forgive me. Jaiwo was stunned. What did I do that you have to? Jaiwo did not remember Teresa's former fiancé at all, but thanks to the bald spot on his hair, she suddenly recognized it. What Teresa had done, bullying people until they started to bald, refusing to break off the engagement until they knelt down and begged in front of the Duke. Therefore Jaiwo could only gently say, you can go, we are all uncomfortable with this, just waiting for that. Fabio immediately ran away from there. Thank you, I will never forget this favor until I go to the grave. The atmosphere started to become lively again, but everyone must have noticed her. Jaiwo stepped forward and gently lifted a glass of wine. Even if she did not want to attract attention, if someone passed by they would still try to turn around and look at her even once. She has become more than a ticking time bomb, now she is treated like a disaster. But honestly she feels pretty good about it. Just as Jaiwo was sitting and enjoying her own party, a voice suddenly came from behind, oh my goodness Miss Teresa. It is unexpected to meet you here, are you still well? Jaiwo thought for a moment but could not recognize it. Who is this again? Constellation Mika I love you gifted 1000 coins. She created the game herself and can't even remember the character. Don't watch this anymore, go back to watching Mika's stream, many constellations are uncomfortable. Constellation Auto Block Angle gifted 1000 coins. Mika's fans really followed us to the silver channel. Jaiwo sighed after reading it, great, the joke has appeared. It is said that the more unreasonable a person is, the more chaos they cause. The game is not created by one person, even if they are the developer, they can't remember all the side characters. And the graphic team drew them once. The moderator Oswald has disciplined the viewer Mika I love you, so there are moderators, it seems they manage the channel. Jaiwo looked at the three girls standing in front of her again, I do not know who they are, but since Teresa is a completely wild card, maybe it is okay to ignore it. At this time, another person stepped forward. Her voice rang out from behind Teresa, there are many familiar faces here. Will you let me join the conversation? Although the other three were a bit vague to Jaiwo, she remembered this person very clearly. As soon as she saw that face, her eyes immediately lit up. This is Mrs. Shadi, the woman of the Marquis family with royal blood on her mother's side, a noble woman famous for her dignity and prestige. Later she will become the etiquette teacher for Libby. If she makes a bad impression on her here, it could lead to a death flag. Mrs. Shadi stepped forward to greet Teresa. It has been a long time, Miss Teresa. Nice to meet you. Teresa immediately received the task of greeting with proper etiquette, Mrs. Shadi peace reward, social increase, failure, reputation declines in high society. If the social reputation in high society is lower than a certain level, she will not be able to request an audience with the queen. Jaiwo was stunned, what, suddenly there is a mission. Greeting Mrs. Shadi first is proper etiquette because she has the highest position here, but I do not know the names or titles of the other people, at least give me a hint or something. New items are available in the store. Jaiwo looked for a while and then called up the store. She was immediately taken into a multidimensional space. Around her were many items that could help her. The items in the store began to appear with their own functions. Wish ticket worth 1 billion su can fulfill any wish. Character information price 5,000 su, allows you to check the information of any character whose name you know, including Teresa's memories before you moved in. Elementary etiquette 9,900 su, performs appropriate etiquette based on the situation, current su 98,900 su. After searching for a while, Teresa finally found what she needed character information. She did not hesitate to immediately select the purchase item. In addition, she also chose to buy elementary etiquette. Only a second later, from someone who knew nothing about etiquette, Jaiwo could easily perform rituals proficiently. Forgive me for the delay. She continued to chat with Mrs. Shadi, I did not expect to meet you today, but it is an honor to greet you like this, Mrs. Shadi. Mrs. Shadi did not reveal any expression. Even so, Jaiwo was very polite. The lady standing next to her exclaimed, "Oh my, you have grown up like a lady." Jaiwo smiled happily and replied, "Thank you, Mrs. Hamiel." At this time, Mrs. Shadi spoke up again, but with an evaluating tone, "The atmosphere around you is too different." Jaiwo was a little stunned to hear this, but she did not care much, because she had completed the task of greeting nicely. Mrs. Shadi smiled kindly, saying, "I hope we will chat more in the future." Jaiwo was very surprised. Mrs. Sudi really smiled for no reason. Immediately, the constellation sent comments to her. Constellation Bullseye gifted 1,000 Su. The Su are spent in the right place, other streamers just save them and disappoint viewers. The gifted Su are very precious, at least from BJ's point of view, but if the game is not stable, Jaiwo is really a very smart consumer. The system continued to display comments, "Greet Mrs. Shadi and buy another item." Immediately after, "This girl is at another level." Constellation The girl who loves romance gifted 1,000 Su, not bad girl. The lady sat down with Jaiwo to chat, thinking about it. Her birthday was not long ago. I can still imagine her as a child. How did she grow up and become such a beautiful young woman, meaning this crazy person is starting to act like a human being too. Even though she thought so in her heart, Jaiwo still behaved very properly. "You are overpraising me, Mrs. Shadi." Smiled and praised, "Maybe this year will be different. Especially at the Flower Festival event." Constellation The girl who likes romance showed interest. As you know, the Flower Festival event is an important ritual on the path to becoming queen. The reward for the young lady who shines the most at the summer party in August is to receive a wreath from the emperor. But that is nothing to Jaiwo. She indifferently replied, "I plan to focus on studying." The lady praised upon hearing this, "So diligent. Oh, that bracelet is so cute. Where did you get it?" Jaiwo noticed the bracelet on her wrist at this time. "Isn't it something for this event? Maybe that is why it stands out so much." Jaiwo smiled gently, raising the bracelet. "Oh, this, my sister made it for me. It is a birthday gift." Even though it was just a small gift, all the ladies were very interested. "I heard that the Squire family recently found their lost child. It must be quite strange to suddenly have another sister, but it seems you two get along quite well." Being asked directly, Jaiwo did not answer immediately. She was silent for a moment, as if to recall the image of her little sister when she ran after and gave her the gift. After that, Jaiwo answered honestly, "Anyone who meets her will like her, I think so." Immediately after that answer, the atmosphere suddenly became silent. Jaiwo was confused. "Oh, did I overdo it? That." Not letting Jaiwo be embarrassed, Mrs. Shadi helped her out. "That reminds me of my sister who got married." The other ladies also spoke up one after another. "Me too. When we were little we were always arguing with each other, we were always fighting, and we even hated each other, but now I miss those days too." Sisters are the type of relationship that always fight over small things, and then make up like nothing happened. They are also best friends. You may have the opportunity to experience that as a princess. One day, I hope the princesses will get along well with each other. Listening to those words, Jaiwo felt relieved. "I do not think that will happen between me and Libby," but then she still followed them and replied, "I will keep your words in mind. Then I will take my leave first." Jaiwo was about to stand up to leave when a hand held her back. "Wait, Miss Teresa. Thanks to you, I remembered something I had forgotten. Thank you." Jaiwo was stunned. "I did not do anything." The constellations immediately rose up. Constellation The most romantic gifted 1,000 Su. "I like moments like this." Constellation Pure Romance also gifted 1,000 Su. "Me too, that is what I like." Even though Jaiwo did not understand what they were saying, she still smiled, accepting that thank you. The auction had been going on for a while. Item number 15 was brought to the floor. Anonymous donated gift. A magic key. The magic in this key has not yet been discovered. We do not know what it will lead to. The auction begins. Below the podium, the nobles began to discuss excitedly. A magic key. It sounds like another unusual antique. Very quickly, the first purchase price was offered, 400,000 Geo Lang. "We have 400,000 Geo Lang. Will anyone pay 500,000? Jaiwo raised her hand without hesitation. 1 million Geo Lang. 1 million Geo Lang, up to 1 million Geo Lang. All eyes were on Jaiwo. The auctioneer raised his voice. "If no one bids higher, then, the item belongs to Miss Teresa Squire." A while later, the party finally ended, and Jaiwo had returned to the residence. The constellations appeared brightly in the comment section. Constellation Macdamania sighed at Jaiwo's excessive spending. The magic key was now in her hands. Spending the gifted Su to buy a random item at the auction. Jaiwo replied to the comments, "This key is an Easter egg. Let me show everyone why. Everyone is curious, right? Why did I buy this key, and why did I choose such a secluded room?" As soon as Jaiwo raised the key, a strange light emitted from it. The key successfully unlocked it, and the light shone out. Light, illuminating everything inside. The key opened a door, revealing countless gold, silver, and jewels. Constellation materialism rules gifted 1,000 su. Wow. Jaiwo was not too surprised by this. It was the enormous wealth of the previous Duke Squire. However, there was one thing it could not unlock, the hidden Easter egg. Materialism rules sent another comment, damn it, knew I could count on her. Jaiwo rummaged through the treasure chest, there must be something valuable somewhere. Very quickly, she found a purple jade. That thing was really valuable. Jaiwo excitedly ordered, store everything in this magical brooch. It turned out that thing was a miniature chest. The constellations worried about what would happen to the wealth if the brooch was lost. Jaiwo immediately explained, it is a bound item that can't be moved or stolen. The constellations were satisfied with the game system and then had no more questions. However, there was still one thing that worried Jaiwo. Actually, there are 2 Easter eggs that can't be unlocked with the multidimensional key. One is the treasure chest. And the other is the paradise seal. It would be terrible if the constellations or Oswald found out about the second one. Fortunately, it seemed everyone thought it was the key to unlock the treasure chest. The tutorial finally ended. Starting tomorrow, the game of God would really begin. Scene changes to the window frame, where a young man was sitting listlessly. He just sat there looking out without saying anything. Today was Jaiwo's first day of school, and she had been taken to school early in the morning. Libby and Jaiwo got out of the car. Looking at the scene before her, the little girl immediately exclaimed, wow. I am really happy that we are going to the same school. Actually, I am a little scared. I did not even know I had magic until now. And now I am suddenly entering Valhalla Academy. Hearing her sister say that, Jaiwo just silently looked at her without saying anything. She thought to herself, in the game, Libby entering school is a normal milestone, but seeing it in person is actually quite normal. A while later, Jaiwo finally spoke up and called Libby. She suggested, do you want to use this carriage to get around? It is too wasteful to just leave it like that. Libby hesitated, thank you, sister. After all, it was originally hers. Libby looked around and then called out, sister, I think everyone is looking at us. Jaiwo was a little confused as to why they were looking at the notorious Teresa. Even so, Jaiwo had to act normal and reply, it is normal. It is natural to look at a beautiful new student. Constellation romance taste gifted 1,000 su. Why have not we seen the male lead yet and instead she is with the female lead? Jaiwo read it and did not even understand what he was asking. She ignored it. Then she continued to chat with Libby, the opening ceremony is held in the auditorium. I will take you there. She had not even finished speaking when a voice echoed from afar, Damien. Not far away, the girls were gathering, and they were competing to call out the name of Senior Damien. I love you, you look very handsome today too. Libby was also attracted by those shouts. Jaiwo immediately explained, he is the vice president of the student council at Valhalla Academy. Jaiwo looked in that direction. And the words jumped into her head, he is surrounded, so I can't see him. But there is something I want to confirm for sure. I do not need to approach him myself. The encounter with Damien was about to happen. Damien tried to escape from the crowd of girls. He hurriedly ran away, unexpectedly bumping into Libby. Because he was a student sponsored by the Squire Scholarship Fund, there was no way he would just walk past her. It seemed that scenario would unfold perfectly, but in reality, the person Damien bumped into was not Libby. A figure of a boy suddenly appeared behind Jaiwo. It was Damien. He actually bumped into her instead of Libby. Damien hurriedly apologized, are you okay, Teresa? Jaiwo was a little surprised, why did he bump into me? In the original story, he should have bumped into Libby. Constellation Beauty Lover gifted 1,000 su. Constellation Beauty Lover almost burst with satisfaction. Jaiwo did not know how to react for a moment. She immediately selected character information Damien. The system immediately sent detailed information about Damien West, age 22, height 187 centimeters, birthday January 31st. Hobbies toys, cooking, sports, hates nobles, level of affection, none. Reading this far, the affection meter appeared, affection level 1 black heart, meaning that Teresa could also be conquered, a black heart from the start. Jaiwo was very surprised. The male lead's reaction is based on affection in this order, an affection level of 1 will become friends. An affection level of 2 will become best friends. An affection level of 3 will become a crush. An affection level of 4 will become love. And an affection level of 5 is the real ending, meaning that the two will move towards marriage. After reading it all, Jaiwo still had no explanation for that black heart, so what does the black heart in Damien's affection level mean? It is completely different. Negative compared to the red heart, it marks the beginning before the door to death, affection level 1 wary, affection level 2 cautious, affection level 3 threatened. Affection level 4 murderous intent, affection level 5 bad ending. That is a warning to the player. Jaiwo looked at Damien confused. A black heart from the beginning is right, because I am Teresa, but, is not this too tense? The constellations are now closely observing how the BJ's male lead is. Very quickly, Jaiwo remembered, she had her own answer. Teresa is said to look down on Damien for being a commoner here, but there is really no reason to act like that and feel the degree of affection. So Jaiwo hurriedly reversed the situation. She smiled and started a conversation with Damien. Damien, long time no see, did you have a good holiday? Damien seemed stunned by this question of hers. But very quickly he responded, you seem to be in a good mood today, Teresa. Jaiwo replied, I have a reason. Allow me to introduce. This is Libby, my long-lost sister. Libby quickly spoke up, hello, I am Libby. Damien briefly replied, hello. Seeing the two face to face, Jaiwo thought again, I do not expect such a small thing to affect Damien's affection level, but if I continue to do so, I might escape the door of death. While talking to Libby, Damien only glanced at Teresa. Jaiwo continued to start a conversation, you are on your way to help the opening ceremony for the new students. It seems he noticed the strangeness in my actions. That expression is like when I found a bug in the game. Damien's expression at this time looked extremely difficult to understand. Jaiwo still tried to be friendly, she smiled and said, can I ask you to take my sister? Damien coldly replied, that is not difficult. But how did she know? Now I am on my way to help the opening ceremony. Damien looked at Jaiwo with a scrutinizing gaze. Jaiwo wanted to shout because she was the game developer. But on the surface Jaiwo still had to try to remain calm and answer normally, everyone knows. Then please take care of my sister. Jaiwo had not finished speaking when she was interrupted by a scream in the distance, Teresa Squire. A pink-haired lady angrily walked over. Jaiwo and Libby looked at her blankly. She frowned and shouted, stay away from Damien quickly. Very quickly Jaiwo was able to confirm that this was Mimosa Bruni. Even in Valhalla where fairness and ideals still have some people who can treat Teresa arbitrarily. And Mimosa is one of them. A noble lady of the Duke Bruni family, and like Teresa, a villain, her mother is the half-sister of the emperor, meaning Mimosa carries royal blood. Mimosa grimaced at Jaiwo, her purple eyes and pink hair are proof of her royal blood. Mimosa ran over and pushed Jaiwo away from Damien and shouted, you are crazy to dare to flirt with Damien, right? Damien intended to stop Mimosa, but Jaiwo reacted first. She immediately grabbed Mimosa's hand and smiled. Oh my god, it has been a long time, did you have a good holiday? Mimosa was startled by Jaiwo's actions and stumbled backwards. Even so, she continued to act, this is my sister Libby, if you think about bullying her. Then from now on I can't guarantee your safety. Jaiwo was still smiling but her voice carried a threat. Mimosa heard something terrible, she shouted, what did you just say, are you threatening me? Jaiwo thought to herself, actually it is for her own good. Libby is even more advanced than the royal family. After all she is the female lead, if she takes a wrong step she will die. It turns out Jaiwo did this because she wanted to protect Mimosa's life. The people nearby started to stir again. Teresa and Mimosa are arguing again. I heard it is because Teresa greeted Damien, impossible. Teresa is the president of Clyde's Bride-to-be club. Jaiwo unexpectedly heard this situation from the students. Everyone is still whispering, Teresa only has eyes for Clyde, and no one else, and she is also the vice president of the upper-class society. Jaiwo suddenly blushed when she heard this. They said it is a social club but it is really a fan club. In Valhalla there are two social clubs pursuing two male leads, one is Clyde's future bride. Two are those who are crazy about Damien. Teresa is the president of the Clydetal Club, and Mimosa is the president of Clyde. A country cannot have two kings. Both are the presidents of two opposing clubs and are sworn enemies. Jaiwo blamed herself, honestly I did not think much when writing this. But now I am so embarrassed. Seeing Jaiwo's unusual expression, Libby worriedly asked, you do not look well, are you okay? Jaiwo hesitated. Libby, do not worry about me and go with Damien. Mimosa heard this and shouted again, what a ridiculous thing, why would you let your sister go with Damien? Jaiwo was annoyed by Mimosa's piercing scream, wow she is really picky, I have to find a way out. Right now her lifesaver has arrived. Jaiwo caught sight of a man from afar. Her eyes immediately lit up. Jaiwo turned around and put her hand on Mimosa's shoulder. Then she smiled again and said, oh my god I am so stupid, I am on my way with Mimosa to meet the professor, I completely forgot. Mimosa was stunned, what why me, see you later Damien. And just like that Mimosa was pulled away by Jaiwo, even though she did not want to but there was nothing she could do. Constellation Cinder Pass gifted 1000 Su. Pay attention to Teresa's etiquette, physical version. Mimosa was still constantly screaming in Jaiwo's ear, are you completely crazy, you are violent and silly. But after only a few steps, Mimosa had to shut up because of the appearance of the man in front of her. She did not dare to shout anymore. In front was a tall man with red hair. He asked in a deep voice, what is wrong? Mimosa looked quite scared, this is Professor Elijah. And Jaiwo smiled, hello Professor, I want to meet you to discuss my career. Professor Elijah was a little surprised. But then he suggested, come to my office. Mimosa heard this and hurriedly refused. I have a private appointment with my consultant. Professor Elijah did not make it difficult for her. He replied, I understand, then go. And just like that, Mimosa left in frustration, and Jaiwo luckily escaped a disaster. Teacher Elijah continued to speak to Jaiwo, let us go. Jaiwo obediently replied, yes teacher. While walking to the office, she quickly updated the information of the character Elijah. The information board appeared again, age 30, height 194 centimeters. Birthday January 21st, hobbies, science, books, research, hates noise, carelessness, restraint. Perhaps because Jaiwo saw the black heart on Damien's scale, so Elijah's empty scale was actually quite good in comparison, but Jaiwo still wanted to pay special attention to Elijah's degree of affection. Very quickly the two arrived at Elijah's office. He politely opened the door and invited Jaiwo in. Constellation Noble of the Night Fire gifted 1000 Su, a glittering clown streamer. I have a question, why does this professor hate restraint so much? Jaiwo was silent after reading it. She thought, what the hell is wrong with this person? The heavenly people only refer to angels. In the World of Gods game there are many other species, divine angels, demons. And there are also chaotic beasts. In the past each type of them existed independently and could not interfere with the rest, but because of an accident the distance between the dimensions collapsed seriously. Elijah, who is deeply involved in that accident, has another name, the Great Demon Ablo. His tragic ending is the destruction of the human world. Meaning Elijah is a great angel. That is one of the most powerful archangels who rules the angels, making him the ruler of the heavenly people. However, when the angels killed Elijah's two twin brothers, when Elijah was exiled to the demon world, he fell and carved a new name on his soul. That name is called the Great Demon Ablo. In other words, he is both an angel but can also be a demon. However, now he seems more taciturn. Jaiwo tried to reassure herself. Sure, Elijah's purpose is the destruction of the heavenly world and other species. To do that he must first overthrow humanity because it plays an intermediate role. But now this person does not hate me. Seeing her keep silent, Elijah finally spoke, Teresa Squire. I do not like wasting time. She realized her shortcomings at this time, so she quickly apologized. I am sorry, that is right, career counseling. She started to stammer, looking for an excuse. Actually, there are parts in the textbook that I do not understand. I just thought of it, but I am not lying. She started to flip through the book and look for content in the textbook. Seeing this, Elijah said that it was a textbook from year 2. How much do you understand? Being asked by Elijah, Jaiwo looked at him confused. Then she hurriedly turned a page and pointed in the book to this part. Elemental magic uses elemental properties, right? Fire, water, earth, air. These 4 types are used a lot, but why can't you use white magic and black magic? They are said to have been lost during the ancient magic kingdom, but in theory they can still be used, right? Constellation, sorry, I am not a liberal arts expert, gifted 1000 Su. Can you summarize the magic for me? Elijah looked at her with a puzzled look, then he called her name again. Teresa Squire, that topic is in the year 3 program. Again Jaiwo was blocked because she is a year 4 student. Jaiwo wondered if she could graduate. Even so, Elijah gently asked, do you understand everything before this part? Let me ask you a few questions. Explain the process of deploying magic. Although surprised to be tested, but with the memory of an author, Jaiwo could still give the answer. The magic seal is linked to the circuit to create a magic formula, a short but not enough answer. Jaiwo continued, when mana is transferred into the finished formula it becomes magic. Deploying magic is like programming a game code, perhaps that is why magic is so interesting. Elijah did not discuss further about that answer. He continued to ask the last question, what is the real reason you came to see me? Jaiwo tried to act, but it turned out he still knew that the counseling was just an excuse. So she had to honestly declare, actually I was in trouble just now. I saw you and thought I could escape. Elijah immediately questioned, so you ran to use me as a shield? Jaiwo felt guilty and did not dare to respond. Among the possible places I came to the laboratory of the Great Demon. Just when she did not know what to do, the system caught her eye with interesting information. Damien's affection has increased to a red heart. This is really confusing. Then Elijah gave Jaiwo a pile of books and said, read this pile, if you have any questions come to me. This is the punishment for being rude. Jaiwo confusedly accepted them anyway, she did not dare to refuse this. Then Jaiwo hugged the pile of books and left Elijah's room. Just stopped by, and why did the affection increase? I do not remember having a strange interest in Elijah. Right now suddenly someone stepped forward from behind and called Miss Teresa. Long time no see. Finally Clydethylk has reunited, the 3 girls happily ran over. Jaiwo quickly scanned their appearance and confirmed, silver butterfly brooch with sapphire stones, members of the Clydethylk Club. The girls started asking Jaiwo, I was bored without seeing you during the holiday. I have a new portrait card of Clyde, would you like to see it? Did you come to school with your sister today? She is so pretty, of course not as beautiful as you, Miss Teresa. Jaiwo smiled and replied, please be good to my sister. Although friendly on the outside, Jaiwoo has grasped the personalities of each of these people. As expected, they are members of the male lead fan club. Everyone is a rival who wants to torture Libby. But as long as she is the president, she can prevent that from happening. The problem is Mimosa. Is there a way to dissolve the entire club? While Jaiwoo was thinking, the pink-haired girl suddenly noticed the pile of books in her hand and asked Miss Teresa, "What do you have in your hand?" She calmly replied, "Oh, the books I plan to read today." The girls were immediately shocked by this information. Miss Teresa reads books. Did Professor Elijah threaten her or something? Hearing these words, Jaiwoo could only smile, even though she was very frustrated in her heart. Just insult me then. The pink-haired girl quickly praised, as expected of Miss Teresa, "You know everything." "Know what?" The girl replied, "Right now, he is at the library, Mr. Clyde." This information made Jaiwoo even more confused. She knew nothing about this. The girls exclaimed again, "You have prepared books to pretend to read beforehand. I really admire you." This time, Jaiwoo could not avoid meeting Clyde after all. Then Jaiwoo smiled and asked, "Can you tell me which library he is in?" Constellation romantic lover was very touched that you were about to conquer the male lead. The girl's information was very quick. Scene changes to Valhalla Library. There were more books here than in the Duke's residence library. Just as Jaiwoo put the books on the table, footsteps rang out. She immediately turned her eyes to look in that direction. The person was none other than Clyde. Constellation superpowered scholar recognizer gifted 1,000 Su. He has the face of a genius. This platinum-haired boy was Clyde Willow. Finally found Clyde Willow. She quickly bought Clyde's personal information. What immediately caught her eye startled her. Apart from the basic information, the affection he had for her was as high as 2 black hearts. Jaiwoo exclaimed, "2 black hearts." Jaiwoo was a little confused. The constellations acted again. Constellation detective gifted 1,000 Su, found a new clue. All the male leads have the same birthday, January 31st. After reading it, Jaiwoo explained, it is because the story of the game branches and ends on January 31st. When the affection scale of the male lead is full, he will send a birthday invitation to Libby. The ending changes depending on whose invitation she accepts. Clyde coldly pulled up a chair and sat down. Jaiwoo was still watching him intently. He chose to sit a few tables away from Jaiwoo and on the opposite side. Constellation romantic lover wants you to sit opposite the male lead. Jaiwoo felt ridiculous after reading it. What reason did Clyde have to be in the library? Valhalla Magic Academy is under the control of the Willow family. Clyde's grandfather, Duke Willow, is the principal of the academy. When Clyde's father and Clyde, Now Willow, died of madness, Duke Willow announced him as the heir. But the collateral nobles objected, using the excuse of madness. When Clyde graduates, they will no longer be able to doubt the quality. So they are waiting for the right opportunity to kick him down. With Clyde, he just needs to get past this year. That is why he is in the library. Approaching him only fuels hostility. Clyde sat down, propped his chin up, and focused on reading a book. But very quickly, he noticed the gaze that was always following him. But even so, he did not show anything. Under the setting sun of the afternoon, the two sat together reading books. Jaiwoo was studying very diligently. I should find the next chapter. Elemental magic is considered the most difficult of the specializations, but that makes it even more interesting. Jaiwoo was reading the book intently when suddenly Clyde came over from somewhere and said, "Interesting, Teresa Squire. You even followed me to the library. Isn't this the place you would definitely avoid before?" Jaiwoo was momentarily confused. That is because if Teresa keeps appearing in front of him, Libby won't be able to capture his heart. Thinking that way, Jaiwoo could only find another excuse. I just thought I could focus on studying this year. Clyde put his hand on the table. He closed the book on Jaiwoo's table and said sarcastically, "What a ridiculous reason. Why do not you just shut your mouth? Hearing those ridiculous words gives me a headache." Jaiwoo could only smile awkwardly. This guy knows how to talk sharply. Is it the karma Teresa created? Even if she hated him in her heart, she still had to try to smile on the outside. "I am sorry." Clyde still did not stop. He continued to question, "Just words. If you really feel sorry, then just drop out of school." This statement of his really made Jaiwoo furious. He is showing the right identity of a spoiled third-generation scion of a Chable. Constellation explanation lover gifted 1,000 Su. That is the school setting, so if you get expelled or drop out of school, would not that be a loss? If that were the case, then it definitely would not work. It would lead to death and punishment. Knowing that information, Jaiwoo immediately refused. "That is a little difficult. Instead, I will stay away from you from now on." She said sincerely because dropping out of school or being expelled was losing the game, as the constellation said. He heard this and the corner of his mouth slightly turned up. But just a second later, he could not help but burst out laughing. "But you applied to the dormitory near my place." This information immediately shocked Jaiwoo. Even she did not know about that. He continued, honestly, I have never seen anyone as reckless, stupid, selfish, and greedy as you. The more Jaiwo listened, the more uncomfortable she became. He was insulting Teresa to the point where she had no words to describe her feelings at this time. Even so, Clyde had no intention of stopping. He continued, I do not understand why you like me when I have rejected you so clearly. Constellation romantic novel lover gifted 1000 Su, now you should respond that you do not like him anymore, but that is too predictable and boring. As soon as this opinion was raised, Jaiwo did not think much. She immediately agreed, but Teresa's unrequited love was one of the reasons for her death. To survive. She had to stop that feeling. Jaiwo made up her mind to say that she did not like him anymore. Immediately after, she spoke up, this is really hard to explain. He replied, of course. Jaiwo continued to say in a gentle tone, liking you is the most natural thing for me. What? Clyde could not believe his hearing. After saying those words, Jaiwo paused for a moment to reassure herself. I created this world with my own hands, especially the main characters. I put in a lot of effort. How can I hate a character I created with so much heart? That is why the words she said next were all sincere. I like you like that. It is fate. This indirect way of confessing caused Clyde to freeze. She likes me like that, fate. That way of speaking was really similar to the old Teresa. She always said that. But this time he looked like his reaction was serious. Jaiwo gave him another answer. She shouted, but I do not like you anymore. The constellation started to jump in with comments. Game player backseat gifted 1000 Su, what, why did you announce or something like that, you were swept away in a moment. But this is a better choice because Jaiwo does not think she can hide this feeling. She continued to say in a sincere tone, but that does not mean I hate you. Let us just ignore each other and get along like that. This statement made Clyde speechless. Then he turned around and left without saying a word. He just left the library like that. Seeing him react like that, Jaiwo felt uneasy again. Leaving without answering made this even more strange. The constellation started to jump up again. Why did not you just lie? Jaiwo bluntly replied, no, Clyde can see through lies anyway. After he left the library, Clyde went crazy. The chains surrounding him and his mood were extremely unstable at this time. How could Teresa do that? I have never seen such pure emotions before. Every time Teresa said she loved me, I felt like vomiting. But now it is like her soul has changed. Noble feelings have a sweet and intoxicating feeling. If that soul follows fate, then it will. Clyde shouted at the main soul inside his body, shut up. The image of Jaiwo at that time kept repeating in Clyde's head. That soul called his name again, Clyde. Bearing half demon blood and half human blood, a half demon. Why did you do that? Don't tell me you still think you are human. You are a demon born of a succubus. Humans will not accept the demon blood flowing in your blood. At this time, a spatial portal opened, and Clyde reached out his hand. According to that, he took out one fan from inside. The fan in his hand glowed. Clyde clenched his hand tightly. That light was still constantly emitting. The power in him was constantly being charged. That soul cried out again, oh my God, are you rejecting yourself again? Under the moonlight of the night, Clyde stood alone inside the room. His mood at this time was very unstable. Scene moves to the dormitory building. This is the dormitory but also a private house on the second floor. Even though she is the author, Jaiwo is seeing the design of this dormitory for the first time. She slowly opened the door and stepped in. Everyone in the Clyde fan club said it was downgraded, but I think it is fine. She stepped in and looked around her. Just wanting a simple meal like this is enough. At this time, Jaiwo discovered a letter on the table. Miss, I brought you a sandwich because you did not have dinner. Jaiwo quickly went to the bedroom. She put the books on the table and leaned back on the bed. I am so tired. If today ends peacefully like this, that would be great. Then she sat up again with the intention of eating and then reading books. However, at this time the channel manager Ozid suddenly appeared. Did you have a good trip? He suddenly appeared, which made Jaiwo unpredictable. Miss Teresa, what is this? He snatched the sandwich from her hand. A sandwich. As soon as he finished, he immediately threw the sandwich on the floor. Then he made a suggestion. You should have a hearty meal, right? She was unconscious because she skipped a meal, although a little surprised. Jaiwo was too used to this sudden appearance. She spoke. I guess you are going to turn on the ads today, right? He gently kissed her hand and replied, thanks to Miss Teresa's considerable efforts, the interview requests have flooded in. With just one kiss, the clothes on Jaiwo's body were changed to another outfit that looked more seductive. And a second later she was taken to a sumptuous party with countless dishes, and the person sitting opposite was the channel manager Ozid. He politely said, please sit. Jaiwo looked at him suspiciously. Do you want to eat together? I do not think the followers like this bland part. Oswald immediately denied. Wrong. He snapped his fingers again. The notification sounds immediately flooded in, making her head explode. When they saw him, the chat channel immediately exploded. Oswald makes this interesting. His face is worth it. I will give more Sue appear often. These comments made Oswald even more complacent. As you can see, they like it when I simply participate in the broadcast. Oswald's followers are going crazy for him. Just like the members of those two clubs, even though they themselves have no interest. Oswald continued to say, now you should know that the gift window you saw has been covered. Do you feel there are more Sue than the number of gifts allowed? Jaiwoo immediately deduced, no wonder every time I check my account there is an unusually high number. Meaning it is not just the gifts given when I am unconscious or sleeping. Her current total balance is 151,500 Sue. Oswald poured wine and continued to talk to her. This is a little inferior to me, so I do not really like it. But having a meal while conducting an interview is not too bad. Jaiwoo looked at him and silently judged, with that hair, what level does he think he is? After that, Oswald told her about the interview. Before the followers join the broadcast, they will understand it through the explanation material. Additional instructions will occasionally be added to make it easier for everyone to understand. VJ needs to provide the right amount of accurate information at the right time. However, if everything is revealed, it is no longer fun. Meaning the followers only know the simple description of the God's game. They do not know the true identity of the main characters or the ending route. After saying that, Oswald concluded, so consider that information. Can you explain today's situation? It seems the broadcast has started. Jaiwoo started her work. Professor Elijah is a fallen angel who became a demon disguised as a human. He plans to turn the human world into a second hell. The human world connects with the heavenly world as well as the demon world. It is like the transfer station of the train system, and if it is turned into the demon world, it also means turning everywhere into the demon hell. If he is the great demon, can we call it the Demon King? Oswald asked with interest. If such a thing exists, then the human world will be destroyed quickly. Jaiwoo's team also considers the possibility of that aspect and implements the restriction to make the process smoother throughout the game. Thinking like that, Jaiwoo quickly had the next answer for Oswald. Humans cannot live underwater, fish cannot live on land, you cannot belong to underwater or on land. Professor Elijah is the same. Because of the restriction, he uses the human body as an oxygen tank. Other low-level demons make contracts with humans and are subject to restrictions. While Jaiwoo was answering the interview, Oswald looked at her intently. Immediately after answering, Jaiwoo frowned again when she saw Oswald sitting opposite her. With that look, Jaiwoo uncomfortably asked what. Oswald casually replied, nothing, it is just that the reverse harem game world is usually so tense. This question made Jaiwoo blush. She evaded and replied, God's game is an RPG game, so of course it is. Even though she never intended to create a world on such a large scale, looking at her lovely expression, Oswald smiled and said, okay, then let us get straight to the main point. Miss Teresa, today, she met 3 male leads. Among the 3 of them, who do you like the most? Among the male leads, who was the most like your taste? Jaiwoo answered without thinking, none of them. This answer made Oswald think. Looking at his expression, Jaiwoo wondered, was that answer too careless for a romantic genre broadcast? So Jaiwoo decided to answer more. Among the characters that have not appeared yet, there is one person who is my taste. Professor Felix Lockhart. He is someone whose laboratory is like an ecological garden. His ability to connect animals and humans is also very prominent. The Emperor character has not appeared yet, but all 3 male leads I met today are great. This answer finally satisfied Oswald. He smiled. Knowing that, Jaiwoo quickly continued her answer. It is just a little difficult to adapt to it because it is a little unrealistic, but they are all characters created by my team. I like them all. This time she really told him the truth, so it felt a little tense. After hearing that answer, Oswald immediately evaluated, that is a typical opinion, right? Jaiwoo nervously looked at him. I am not sharing my thoughts on fictional content. I am talking about what really happened to me. This guy is like a cruel god to humans. One person more dangerous than the male lead she met today, one reality that can do something to her immediately. Not really, he has already done something to her. Anything she says can sound very ridiculous to Oswald. Because of that thought, Jaiwoo decided to fight back. I also have a question. You said this is the first time you have tried your hand at a romantic genre broadcast, right? What are you thinking about it? She intended to attack back with a question. Oswald was a little surprised that his BJ asked back. He stroked his chin thinking for a while. Although Jaiwoo did not expect a good response from him, but unexpectedly he actually gave an answer. Oswald came closer to Jaiwoo and replied, I do not think I have ever seen anything considered romantic. But honestly, I thought it would be boring. But it is quite new and interesting. I still do not really like romance. His hand gently touched her hair, then moved to the chair that Jaiwoo was sitting on. Because what I feel is new and interesting is you. So much so that I think I can become a fan, Miss Teresa. Looking at the expression on his face, Jaiwoo could only judge him as a pragmatic person because he even lip-serviced because the constellations were watching. He was just faking emotions for the benefit of the broadcast. Oswald snapped his fingers again and said, your audience is not human. To attract their attention there needs to be stronger stimulation. Oswald quickly stood behind Jaiwoo. He put his name on her shoulder and started guiding her to do the mission. This time the mission is to join the student council reward plus 100,000 Su failure go to school. Just after reading the mission Jaiwoo froze for 2 seconds, she said she would avoid Clyde's sight and go to school if she failed. Oswald like a freak said, there is nothing more stimulating and interesting than watching BJ struggle in a strange world, I told you. Effort to be loved. People like you who beg for affection will lead the broadcast to success. Ta's words made Jaiwoo angry and scolded, this bastard, so becoming a clown begging for Su and attention is love. Finally Jaiwoo could not help but fight back, do you know what love is? He smiled gently, of course. Is what you want the most, right? Is not that why I was willing to prepare the stage for you? Unlike her poor past life, when she was not reciprocated, from now on the requirements to receive reciprocated love have all been prepared. You can enjoy being loved. That answer was like a knife piercing Jaiwoo's heart. She sighed. This guy sees the amount of Su that the constellations throw in as the affection she begs from her family, it is because she asked him about love. At this time the clock struck 2 of the clock. The bell attracted attention with Oswald. He quickly announced, unfortunately I think we should end the interview here. After that, he leaned down to kiss Jaiwoo goodbye. But she refused and avoided him. Oswald looked disappointed, is a goodbye kiss in your culture strange? Jaiwoo did not answer but that was obvious. Even though Jaiwoo avoided without answering, Oswald still forced her back, but you know Miss Teresa. How dare you avoid my goodbye, do I really have to respect your greeting culture? He forcibly pulled Jaiwoo back. And put a kiss on her cheek. Okay, then good luck Miss Teresa. After that goodbye kiss he disappeared as if nothing had happened. Jaiwoo really shed tears with that cruel act, there was really no humanity at all. She slowly picked up the sandwich that he had thrown on the ground. I could have cleaned them up with magic. But it seemed that at this time, she did not have the mind to do that, like a puppy in a cage, it was so suffocating. The first day has basically passed. Time moves quickly to the next morning, Eloise worriedly said, when she was at the Duke's mansion she used to change clothes at least 2 times a day. The school uniform is really a barbaric custom. Jaiwoo although she did not say it but in her heart she was praising this girl, even though she is the daughter of a fallen family she is still a noble lady, but she has 10 different sets of uniforms. A moment later, Jaiwoo gently spoke, I like this, Eloise quickly continued, but the brooch matches the dress a lot. This word made Jaiwoo a little surprised. That is something that symbolizes Clyde's future bride, she usually always wears it when at school. Based on the setup Jaiwoo can't wear it at home because her father will take it off right away, and now the same, now there is only Jaiwoo, no more Teresa, she bluntly refused. Put it away, I do not intend to wear it anymore. The student council not only has Clyde, but also the president Damien, the mission to join the student council reward plus 100,000 Su, failure go to school. Teresa must have been carefree when she was the president of CDTLCC until now. To complete the mission, Jaiwoo must please both of them. Scene moves to Valhalla School. As usual Jaiwoo came to school. She walked while carefully reading the books teacher Elijah gave, ignite the largest fire in the water. She hesitated to think, Elijah won't kill me just for skimming the book right, even if he is the great demon. At this time, Jaiwoo suddenly bumped into the person in front. And that person happened to be Damien. The comments immediately caused a dispute. Constellation romantic love likes this detail. Constellation hates romance hates this detail. Jaiwoo awkwardly said, sorry I was too busy reading so I did not see you. I bumped into him again. Damien smiled gently and replied, no, I should have been more careful. Jaiwoo felt a little guilty for putting all the blame on Damien, she thought, how can I blame the person I bumped into, but he can manage it, Damien is a mage from the Assassin Guild. The main job is the vice president and the side job is the assassin. When Jaiwoo created him Two Faces is the main attraction of Damien, but now she is in the game so it is the door to death. Thinking that, Jaiwoo smiled again and asked, are you okay? Damien replied, I am okay but... Your forehead is red Teresa, Damien said while reaching out to touch her forehead. This action reminded her of the nightmare tonight, why do I have to adjust my actions for you? So she hurriedly stepped back, avoiding the hand that was about to touch her. Jaiwoo's excessive reaction also startled Damien. Jaiwoo confusedly said, you do not need to worry about me. Immediately after, she quickly found an excuse and ran away, you are going to the main building right, let us go. Damien looked at Jaiwoo in confusion. A moment later, he spoke up and asked, Teresa, do you like coffee? A moment later, Damien took Jaiwoo to his office, both walked in, he happily introduced, this is my office. Jaiwoo glanced around and praised, beautiful and clean, does he mean he arranged it himself? Damien smiled, hearing you say that makes me happier. Constellation Detective gifted 1,000 Su. I did not find traces of humans here, some items are carefully placed only increase the feeling of unnaturalness. Jaiwoo continued to observe and silently evaluate, one place that can reflect one person, It seems this place is designed for secret activities. Jaiwo always knew that Damien despised Teresa. His friendly actions towards her were just a facade, deliberately done to conceal his identity as an assassin. This hypocrisy was too obvious. By the way, this event would only occur if one of Damien's hearts was filled. Jaiwo wondered, could there be a change in affection? She quickly summoned the status window. The affection has actually increased to 2 black hearts. Jaiwo was immediately stunned. Impossible, yesterday, it was definitely only 1 black heart. Now, there are 2 hearts. Even though he did not like her in his heart, Damien still acted friendly. Now that I think about it, this is the first time you have come here, right? Jaiwo smiled awkwardly, who knows, I do not pay attention to things like that. Even if he had not invited her, Teresa would have probably barged in suddenly anyway. Damien poured coffee and continued the conversation with Jaiwo. Really, oh, that is right, Teresa. Yesterday, when you came to the auditorium with your sister, was it to congratulate her on getting first place? This question immediately triggered Jaiwo's genius deduction ability. Damien knew that Teresa was not the type of person to congratulate others on their success. Meaning he was trying to see how she felt about Libby. Therefore, Jaiwo gave a satisfactory answer, that was the plan, but just because I do not acknowledge it does not mean that her getting a high score did not happen. Damien pulled up a chair, sat down opposite Jaiwo, and continued, but your sister seemed a little disappointed. Jaiwo replied immediately, there is no need to worry about my future. Perhaps not including graduation is more important than congratulating my sister. Valhalla's cruel education system was that if you got a low score, you would be expelled. If you failed in dealing with demons, you would be expelled. Jaiwo honestly asked, you know my overall score, right? Her humorous answer made Damien only laugh awkwardly, haha. He took a sip of coffee and continued, you are in year 4, so it is time to worry. While Damien was talking, Jaiwo used magic to add some ice to the hot coffee. The cool ice cubes were dropped one by one and gradually enjoyed the taste of the coffee, and she did not pay any attention to Damien's gaze. He asked in surprise, you drink iced coffee? Jaiwo did not think much. She smiled and replied, it is tastier this way. Damien asked curiously, is it a trend in high society now? Jaiwo denied, no, just a personal preference. If you drink it at a gathering, people won't say good things about it. His words made Jaiwo realize, wait a minute, Damien usually has communication channels in high society. Was he insulting me politely? Constellation romantic lover gifted 1000 Su. It seems that Damien just satirized the behavior against etiquette standards. As a commoner, his ability to talk like the upper class is very impressive. Damien continued his statement very calmly, you really drink it like that even though it is not a trend. No matter what he said, Jaiwo added ice again. The constellations excitedly exclaimed, Constellation Cinder Pa gifted 1000 Su. Just keep mocking, if you do not understand then forget it. Her action made Damien speechless. Jaiwo drank while nervously thinking, at first I was a little embarrassed to be surprised, but 2 night hearts have not led to death. The top priority is to leave here as soon as possible. Because it is likely that Mimosa will come and sweep through this place at this time, if I am caught sitting drinking coffee with Damien. The difficulty of the game will increase significantly. Coffee. After finishing the drink, she quickly stood up. The coffee is very delicious. Seeing her stand up quickly, Damien was stunned, you are leaving. Jaiwo smiled and said, I have to finish reading the book before class, actually because she did not want to be seen by Mimosa. Why does it feel like this is what an adulterer would think? It feels so strange. Hearing this, Damien also stood up, let us go together, I also have a class. Just as the two were about to leave, Mimosa's clear voice rang out, Damien, are you in there? Jaiwo looked out the door in panic, Mimosa, it is not time for her to appear, why is she here so soon? Constellation deadly ? Gifted 1000 Su, is this a horror show? Constellation crazy person who likes drama gifted 1000 Su, no, this is love and a battle. It has been a long time since I saw something burning this much. Just hearing Mimosa's voice, Jaiwo hurriedly looked around. Where can I hide? Very quickly, her eyes scanned a suitable location. She saw a large cabinet. Immediately after, Jaiwo grabbed Damien's hand and pulled him. Damien was stunned. Teresa, what are you doing? Jaiwo said in a panic, there is no time to explain, we have to run away. After the two hid in a corner, Mimosa outside did not see a response, so she opened the door herself. Damien, I am coming in. She walked in and looked around. I thought someone was in here, did I hear wrong? I brought a lunchbox too, where did he go? After pulling Damien into the cabinet, Jaiwo suddenly realized, Damien does not need to hide. I panicked and pulled him to hide without thinking. On the outside, Mimosa also realized, there are 2 cups of coffee there. Jaiwo heard this, and felt extremely uneasy in her heart. If I am discovered now I am doomed, with Mimosa. Starting a war between 2 clubs is not enough, if not she might even hire one assassin. Because of worry Jaiwo kept turning her head to look outside. Damien saw this, he held her and said, Teresa, if you move again you will be discovered. His action of hugging her waist startled Jaiwoo. Damien smiled naturally. Constellation Gu Romantic gifted 1000 Su. The chat channel is exploding, Jaiwoo exclaimed, thank God I am the only one who can hear the gift notifications. I guess at least I have not been discovered yet. Mimosa picked up a cup of coffee and discovered, oh my god. There is lipstick on this cup. He drank coffee with a girl. Jaiwoo heard this, and the feeling of worry rose again. I should wipe my lips right after leaving here. Mimosa on the outside started to go crazy, which audacious noble lady dares to seduce our innocent Damien. So you are not afraid of me, let us see what happens when you are discovered, I will get you expelled. Finishing her words, Mimosa left angrily. At this time, the cabinet door gradually opened. Jaiwoo staggered out, complaining, it scared me to death. Jaiwoo was unsteady, Damien quickly supported her, are you okay? Thank you. Seeing her like this, Damien suggested, if you want to hide then a place like that is not the best choice. You will easily be discovered, advice from one professional assassin. Constellation Plotter gifted 1000 Su, this guy is something obscure. Then, Jaiwoo laughed and asked, so tell me where is the best place to hide, next time I will hide there. Her words had no meaning, but Damien thought otherwise, is it that next time she will come to my place again? Damien suddenly changed his tone, he said seriously, I have something I want to ask you, you do not hate me anymore. Jaiwoo replied immediately after, I do not hate you, if there is it is you who hates me. So what do you think of me? I see you as a friend. Friends like Mimosa, is that why you hid just now as if you were caught cheating? This question made Jaiwoo feel guilty again, because if Mimosa misunderstands then things will get serious, he feels the same as her. Damien thought for a while and said, so we will continue to meet secretly like this, what kind of friends meet like this, that is not how friends behave. Stop for a moment, then Damien lightly touched Jaiwoo's face, that is the reason. You asked me for a place to hide, I am so happy, we finally get along. I like you Teresa, I have always wanted to be your friend, Constellation Gu Romantic gifted 1000 Su, hurry up and kiss. Jaiwoo shyly pushed his hand away, her eyes showed obvious confusion, is that so, but your hand gestures are a bit. Damien did not care, he smiled again and said, you still have lipstick on this lip, you should not let Mimosa find out right. Even though Damien wanted to change the topic, Jaiwoo still had no intention of letting him go, she gently said, I do not allow friends to touch like that, only people in a relationship do that. Damien heard about this for the first time, he naively said, really, but other people seem to want something. Jaiwoo was turning around to arrange books while explaining, that is because they like you, anyway your gestures were a bit too much for me. Constellation Duke Wolf Humorous gifted 1000 Su, why is this streamer so conservative, do you want Appa to show you how to win a man's heart? Channel manager Oswald has banned the user Duke Wolf Humorous, Jaiwoo just read and felt annoyed, I am conservative, so Demaya's gestures are not strange at all. Seeing Jaiwoo looked uncomfortable, Damien worriedly said, I am sorry if you feel that way then I will be more careful. She nodded slightly, just do not overdo it, limit it so that others do not misunderstand. Finishing her words, Jaiwoo left, then see you later Damien, goodbye Teresa. After she left, Damien lowered his glasses, it is strange I can't understand her. I can't understand this, it is so uncomfortable. Not only the personality has subsided, but there is something different, Teresa used to be very stupid, that is right. But it is not that she does not know anything. Honestly, I even considered letting her express herself a little until she grabbed my coat and acted strangely. She is more clumsy. When Damien was thinking, a little pigeon landed by the window. Damien quickly picked up the bird, was it sent by the guild? A letter was sent. Damien removed and read the contents. Determine the magic attributes of Libby Squire, report any findings about other nobles. Damien recalled, Libby Squire, did not she say she used to live in the slums? Completely opposite to Teresa, the most noble of the nobility, he thought Teresa would act arrogantly but the Teresa he saw that day. Thinking for a while, Damien started writing. We need to increase monitoring of the Squire family, one quick check shows that the sister possesses white magic attributes. White mages are believed to exist, even the guild intended to give up searching, Teresa certainly has not discovered and used her as bait. That is a groundless thought, Teresa is very stupid. But recently she has revealed more expressions. And her stereotyped behavior has had some gentle progress. Because of thinking like that, Damien decided not to report about her. After that, he released the bird. Because Teresa has changed, now I will only monitor her myself, the degree of affection has changed from a black heart to a red heart. Scene moves back to the lecture hall. Jaiwoo walked wearily, after lunch it was Professor Elijah's class, I have not finished reading everything. At this time, Jaiwoo happened to pass the school's notice board. On it was posted the information for recruiting members for Clyde's future bride club, craving only Clyde, dreaming of being his wife, but also wanting to cherish love in the proper framework. New members are always welcome, and there are also recruitment applications for the Damien Fan Club. There are only 3 clubs on the notice board, and those 2 clubs occupy a lot of space. Even the recruitment advertisements are fiercely competitive. But what Jaiwo noticed was the membership application form in the student council. I think I should fill out and submit one application. The constellations asked why would anyone apply to such dangerous organizations. Jaiwo explained, in Valhalla, the student council is led by the top student. The president and vice president are like a magic knight legion. The student council regularly participates in monster extermination missions, and when demons appear they are the first to be summoned. Jaiwo's mortality rate is higher than other students, but the elites still apply. Becoming a former member of the student council is the fastest path to success. Even after graduating we are still protected by the Willow family and invited to the royal palace to receive medals from the emperor. However, those things are useless to Jaiwo. The Willow family is the enemy of Squire. Her title has already existed. Even though she did not want to ignite the door to death, but fighting monsters sounds better than walking around. Jaiwo was considering joining the student council when suddenly someone came and called her name, Teresa Squire. Professor Elijah walked over and asked, "Are you considering joining the student council?" Just seeing him, Jaiwo was startled, hurriedly stepping back. She tried to force a smile and said, "Hello." My heart almost fell out. Why did we happen to meet at this time when I have not finished reading the book? Elijah still maintained a proper attitude and instructed, "It is best to read that last part after reading the other 2 chapters. Jaiwo was a little confused to hear this. She honestly admitted, "Actually I started reading those 2 parts. He thought I started with this magic textbook." Wait. Did he expect me to finish all 3 before writing? Elijah asked again immediately, "You finished reading?" She nervously replied, "Yes, but the content of the last book is really difficult." Constellation Detective gifted 1000 Su. What is the great demon thinking? Honestly, I am very scared. To avoid being scolded, Jaiwo continued, "Of course I tried to finish reading it during lunch break, that is why I brought a sandwich. But I do not think I will finish reading it before class, I am sorry." Not only did Elijah not scold her, he gently said, "I never told you to finish reading it before class." Jaiwo was a little surprised by these words. She looked at him with a blank look. Seeing her so exhausted, Elijah worriedly asked, "Did you sleep?" Jaiwo was startled and wondered, "Am I very tired?" Then, she replied, "Just a little." He did not say anything more, but the way he looked at her contained a kind of emotion. A moment later, Elijah took Jaiwo to his office. "Come in." Even though she did not understand anything, Jaiwo still followed behind Elijah. What is he going to do? Elijah went to the chair and was silent. She immediately understood. "Ah yes, he wants me to sit. Yesterday was one thing, but today why did he call me into the office?" Jaiwo sat down blankly. She carefully observed Elijah. He actually suddenly smiled, just for a moment, but Jaiwo noticed, "Wait, that is a smile from Elijah. Am I mistaken? There is no way Elijah would smile." Seeing that he did not say anything, Jaiwo decided to speak up. "So why did you call me here?" Elijah replied, "I will be back before class starts. Until then stay here." Before Jaiwo could understand anything, Elijah left. "He left me alone in the office." Constellation Gu Rotten gifted 1000 Su. Is this the path of imprisonment? Constellation Gourmet gifted 1000 Su. A romantic story with a talented young professor. This is a perfect meal. Reading those cheesy comments, Jaiwo told herself, "There is no way Elijah likes me, unless he has lost his mind." Strange, the constellations are curious about the streamer's thoughts. Elijah's office is a place Jaiwo can only enter after increasing the degree of affection. She was very curious about this point. At what point did I make a good impression? Constellation Detective gifted 1000 Su. Maybe he gave her points because she worked hard on the assigned work. Jaiwo also felt like that. After all, he is a professor. Good academic results are one of the ways to score points with Elijah. A little affection from one great demon is not the worst thing. Let us complete the reading of the last book. Do not know how long has passed. The door of Elijah's room was suddenly opened. There were footsteps clattering. The person who walked in was Clyde. He saw Jaiwo sleeping on the chair and stopped. "Teresa Squire, what has she done here?" He looked around, not someone but the application to the student council that Professor Elijah told me to send. Could it really be from Teresa? Clyde still looked at her with a hateful gaze. No, impossible. Teresa is the most greedy and selfish person in the world. The student council carries out monster hunting trips and destroys demons. Teresa would never do anything that would put her in danger. Sacrifice is the thing Teresa likes the least. Clyde looked at her again. This time he saw a book next to Teresa, Year 3 magic textbook. That is a subject she should have completed last year. Is she studying late just to graduate? Unbelievable. After saying all those words yesterday, I love you as if it is fate, now she is taking a nap in the professor's office as if nothing is wrong. Love me as fate, a stupid human being made crazy by my mask without knowing my true nature. If she had the blood of the Rodrigo royal family, if she could instinctively sense the danger from me like Mimosa, would she still be able to say that she loves me as fate? I who is more cruel than a demon, do you think you can love someone like that? Do not make me laugh. Clyde left the word disgusting and left, but what is worth noting here is that his degree of affection for her has changed. There are no more black hearts. Again, do not know how much longer has passed. Jaiwo finally woke up. She opened one eye and saw Elijah sitting right in front of her. Jaiwo hurriedly got up. Do not tell me I overslept here. Seeing her absent-minded, Elijah took the initiative to speak first. You are awake. This is your form. Application to the student council. He explained further, if you intend to join then fill it out and submit it to me. Jaiwo unexpectedly said, thank you teacher. Then, Elijah stood up, let us go to the lecture hall. Elijah went ahead. His speed made Jaiwo could not keep up even running behind. He walks so fast, I feel like a dog being dragged by a chain by a very narcissistic owner. A moment later, the two finally arrived at the classroom. Jaiwo stepped in, the deserted scene inside reminded her of a detail. There are not many students here. Elijah's elemental magic class is not a combat major, so it is not popular. Mages are divided into combat and non-combat groups. Combat mages if successful will become national heroes, and bright stars, so obviously, the combat block is very popular. In other words, Elijah's major is not only non-combat but also difficult to get known. It is considered a separate area that is neglected. But its very difficulty is the reason why it has such solid advantages. Mages who grasp elemental magic can handle any type of magic power, and can use high-level magic with incredible speed. Elijah and Clyde are living proof of that. Right at that moment, familiar footsteps and voices rang out again. Sorry I am late. Jaiwo recognized it as soon as she heard it, that voice. Yes, Teresa only registered for this class to be with Clyde. Clyde had also noticed Jaiwo's appearance. He actually went over and sat right next to her. Jaiwo blankly glanced at him. Why is he sitting next to me? I told myself I would ignore him, but this is actually beyond my control. What is suddenly with him? Is there a change in the favorability level? The favorability level of Clyde that appeared made Jaiwo confused. Not long ago, the favorability level had dropped to 0 black hearts, but now the number of black hearts is 3. She was immediately startled when he turned around. Clyde looked at Jaiwo with a piercing gaze. Seeing that, Jaiwo turned away in confusion. She told herself it is too dangerous. 3 black hearts, it does not mean instant death, but it is the stage where the door to death can open. At this point, I have to join the student council. I have to reduce Clyde's number of black hearts. That is the only way to avoid being sent back to the Duke's mansion. While she was studying, the trio of young ladies from Clyde's future bride club were secretly standing outside the lecture hall looking at him. Clyde looks so radiant today. I feel like I am going blind looking at him. Hearing the whispers outside, Jaiwo immediately realized, maybe Clyde's number of black hearts increased because of this. If she disbanded Clyde's fan club, the number of hearts would decrease a little. But if that is the case, she would also have to eliminate Mimosa's Damien fan club too. If she only disbanded one, then Damien or Clyde would definitely increase the number of black hearts. Then the game will obviously start heading towards a bad ending and the possibility of an evil appearance will also increase. Jaiwo was extremely worried about this. Forget it, let us focus on the class. Jaiwo just looked up towards the podium and caught the eye of Professor Elijah. He was also looking at her. Having been discovered, Elijah immediately turned away and said, let us start the class. Jaiwo was extremely surprised. Was he just looking at me? Maybe I am just imagining it, but at least it feels like someone in this world does not completely hate me. I feel a little more comforted. A long time later, the class finally ended. Jaiwo tiredly slumped on the table and sighed. Professor Elijah is the type of ruthless person who speeds up the pace like this. Is this a class or torture? The type of professor who can't understand why others fall behind. At the same time, Clyde also. Jaiwo secretly looked at him. Right at this moment, until I know how to increase favorability, avoid getting involved with Clyde as much as possible, I will ignore him as if invisible. Right at this moment the trio of young ladies suddenly ran over and called, Teresa, you are finally out. You must have had a hard time. That class was like torture. Was not it? She was startled and quickly looked around. Luckily Elijah had left. Jaiwo hearing that could only smile. These kids did not even attend the class. At the same time, a girl suddenly appeared and called Teresa. Are you and Clyde not going out together today? Jaiwo immediately recognized this person, Lady Rumio. The one who made a contract with the demon Rumio. A former villain created by her team. Someone who does not have a big impact on the game, but for Jaiwo at this moment she is no different from a ticking time bomb. Just as long as one simple condition is met, she is a character who can summon a demon immediately. Lady Rumio timidly stepped forward to ask Clyde and Teresa, I just want to see you two together. Jaiwo remained silent without answering. She continued to remember, the condition to summon a demon is that Clyde does not end up with Teresa. If Clyde is too close to another girl or even acts distant with Teresa, it means that a demon will be summoned. Thinking of this, Jaiwa blamed herself again. How could my team set up such a ridiculous condition? So, Jaiwa quickly made an excuse to slip away. Oh well, I have a problem to discuss with Professor Elijah. As soon as the words ended, Clyde came over from somewhere, and he coldly said, "Get out of the way." The three girls of the club were immediately attracted by his beauty. "You are so handsome. You look so dashing today too." Teresa's friends kept clinging to Clyde, making him annoyed. "Can't you guys get out of the way?" Jaiwa was completely frozen. "Even though I am the president, this is really too embarrassing. I should just run away." And so she hurriedly ran away. "The assignment is due today and Professor Elijah is about to leave. I will go first." This action of hers attracted Clyde's attention. The look he gave her carried some displeasure. The constellation of romance has created 1,000 Sue. Love starts from hate, so you know, I am Team Damien. Jaiwa felt nauseous after reading it. What a ridiculous thing. The constellation facial recognition expert has created 1,000 Sue. In terms of face, Clyde is the best. The constellations all have the same question. Where is BJ going? She replied, going to the library on the first floor. That is the best place to avoid accidentally running into other students. Actually one of the few places Clyde does not go. On the way to the library, Jaiwa happened to pass by a scandal. Mimosa's voice rang out. It was her. "She is going crazy with another female friend. You sneaked into Damien's room this morning, right?" The girl kept denying. "I have said 4 times already I did not." Mimosa still did not believe her and continued to shout, "Do not lie. There is still lipstick on the coffee cup. That is the limited edition from Jean Atelier that just came out, and guess what? It is your lipstick color." Libby used logic to confront Mimosa. "Limited edition does not mean there is only one, right?" Mimosa still persisted. "There are only 10, okay?" Jaiwa, who was not far away, heard the whole argument. She worriedly thought, should I bring my makeup with me when I go back to the dorm? Why did Libby use the same lipstick color as me today? So Mimosa must be suspicious. This is because of me, so I have to take responsibility. After that, Jaiwa stepped forward and confessed that limited edition. "I have one too, Mimosa." Libby smiled brightly as soon as she saw her sister. Mimosa questioned, "Now you are here to protect your sister. Now I understand. You deliberately let your sister approach Damien, right?" Hearing her freak out, Jaiwa secretly assessed. The original Teresa was not even that smart. Responding to unreasonable anger will only make me tired. Jaiwa did not bother arguing with her. She stepped forward and took Libby away. "We need to leave here now." However, at this time Jaiwa received a mission. Receive an apology from Mimosa. Reward unknown. Failure. Being expelled due to retaliation from Mimosa. This mission made Jaiwa helpless. They really turn everything into a mission. And why do not they show the rewards clearly? I really do not want to participate in this petty squabble. But since it is a mission, Jaiwa could only comply. She called out, "Mimosa." She had no choice but to force her to apologize. Jaiwa put on an innocent expression and said, "You are really good at accusing the wrong person." The surrounding area started whispering again. Is it another battle between the presidents of the Damien and Clyde clubs? Is not that the new student representative? Do not tell me she is being bullied. Jaiwa thought to herself, I have to stop this fight before the Clyde fan club members gather. I ran away to escape them, but if both sides show up, everything will be in vain. I do not like this, but there is no other way. After that, Jaiwa continued to speak in a firm voice. Can you swear on your honor that Libby was the one who entered Damien's lab? Mimosa answered without thinking, yes, I can bet everything on this. Jaiwa suggested, then it is a bet. If the person who entered Damien's room today was not Libby, you will write a letter of apology and put it on the bulletin board. Mimosa angrily questioned, a bet, what do you mean? In contrast to Mimosa, Jaiwa was very calm, continuing, if you are not confident, then apologize to my sister right now. This sentence of hers touched Mimosa's pride. She immediately shouted okay. With just a little bit of trickery, Jaiwa successfully lured Mimosa. The constellation started typing. The professional consultant constellation has donated 1,000 Sue. The better only bets when they are sure they will win. The Cinder Pass constellation has donated 1,000 Sue. The secret is unlocked. Immediately after luring Mimosa, Jaiwa happily spoke the truth. The person who entered Damien's lab today was me. Mimosa but did not believe that. She shouted, what? Don't lie, why would you go to Damien's room? Jaiwa calmly explained, Mimosa, do you remember the time when you discovered the coffee cup? Probably around 9:30, because I got off the carriage before that, Mimosa replied. After that, Jaiwa turned to ask Libby, what time did you arrive today? You think around 10 of the clock. Jaiwa immediately confirmed the information. That is right, that is the arrival time that was set for Libby. The constellations cheered and applauded. The students outside started discussing, what, the time does not match, maybe it is just an accusation from one side. Not necessarily, we can check what time the carriage arrived through the record. Jaiwa confidently said, then let us go check together. By now Mimosa had truly realized that she had lost. So without needing to check, Mimosa voluntarily admitted her mistake. I admit my mistake, Libby Squire. I apologize for suspecting you without basis. I will write a letter of apology and put it on the bulletin board. Mission complete. Reward reduced the members of Mimosa's Damien fan club, increased the members of Teresa's Clyde fan club. Jaiwo helplessly sighed. Is this a reward? I understand why the reward was not displayed earlier, so despicable. After apologizing, Mimosa still did not leave. She questioned Jaiwo again. By the way, Teresa, why were you in the lab with Damien? Jaiwo already knew this question. She answered immediately. Damien is honored to become the vice president of the Valhalla Student Council. Thanks to the scholarship sponsorship from the Squire family, I have a valid reason to meet with him privately. Mimosa still did not acknowledge that answer. But you always hated and wanted to destroy Damien, so what is the reason for meeting privately? The moment she said these words, the event would begin. I have assigned Damien West to be my personal guardian mage. Initially this was an event in God's game, triggered when the player fills 2 hearts of Damien. It was an event triggered by Teresa. Damien was an outstanding scholar from the start, and if it was not for Teresa's interference, he could have become the official defender of the family. Mimosa was very angry, but she could not do anything. Even if she was royalty or nobility, she had no right to interfere in the appointment of someone from another family as her defender. After settling Mimosa, Jaiwo happily said to her sister, let us go, Libby. Night had enveloped the entire space. Jaiwo had already returned to her dormitory. Right at this moment there was a sudden knock on the door outside. Jaiwo lit the candle and went out alone. Who would come at this hour? The person who appeared at the door surprised Jaiwo. You know that visiting the female dormitory at this hour is a violation of school rules, right? That person was none other than Damien. Damien was still able to smile and answer, I know, that is why I came and avoided being caught. The answer made Jaiwo helpless. Of course you won't be caught, you are an assassin after all. Damien came here with only one purpose, he said. I heard what happened today. They said you chose me as your personal guardian, is that true? Jaiwo carried a sleepy expression and replied, yes, it is a bit late, but if you are okay with it I will formalize the agreement. A commoner like Damien becoming a follower of a family with status also means guaranteeing his semi-noble status. After Jaiwo's answer, Damien was silent for a moment. Immediately afterwards, he smiled and accepted. I will be your defender. The romantic constellation has donated 1,000 sous. Why not just get married? Jaiwo continued in a natural manner. Okay, I will inform my family. As soon as the words ended, Damien immediately knelt down. Then he placed a kiss on her hand. His action made Jaiwo confused again. You have not been officially appointed yet, these kinds of things. Damien looked up at Jaiwo and asked, why are not things supposed to be like this? Damien's expression at this moment made Jaiwo shudder. How can an assassin smile so innocently? After achieving his goal, Damien stood up. Well, I am leaving. Good night, Teresa. Damien left, and Jaiwo still followed his back. Many tangled thoughts appeared in her mind. If the warmth that I felt from that smile was not just because of the light of the lamp, could it be just my imagination? The stock genius constellation has donated 1,000 sous. Check this guy's favorability rating. It seems to be increasing rapidly. Jaiwo immediately followed. There must be something different. I need to check the favorability right away. The favorability bar was just opened and Jaiwo was shocked. It actually turned into 1 red heart. Not long ago it was definitely 1 black heart. This change is too fast, too much. It is not a game, so Jaiwo guessed this is normal. In this world, that guy really exists in this world. Jaiwo needs their favorability to complete the game, but she does not want to have emotional attachments to the characters because after the hidden ending, she is planning to escape to paradise. Another day has passed. The next morning, Jaiwo came to school again. She went directly to Professor Elijah's office. Here it is, Professor, Elijah asked with concern. Are there any questions while you were doing it? Jaiwo smiled brightly and answered, for the parts one did not understand I learned by finding other books in the library to read. Hearing her say that, Elijah did not ask any more questions. Then he suddenly stood up. Jaiwo had an ominous feeling. It was indeed so. Elijah went to the bookshelf again and chose another book. Read this one this time. Jaiwo trembled and received the book from Elijah's hand. She gloomily thought, do not tell me he is telling me to read a new book, and it is always like this. I like reading magic books, but coming here and spending time like this feels quite heavy. Elijah got closer to Jaiwo. He kindly instructed, do not stay up late. Jaiwo did not expect him to remember the time she stayed up late. His expression was indifferent and his tone did not seem friendly, but somehow he felt very thoughtful. Jaiwo smiled and replied, yes, Professor. Looking at her reaction, Elijah actually asked bluntly, why are you smiling? Jaiwo did not even realize that she had smiled at Elijah. She gently reached out to touch her face. She answered awkwardly, it is because I am happy. What makes you happy? The continuous questions like that he is trying to make her lower her guard. Jaiwo tried to think. After a moment she finally gave an answer. I am happy because you care about me. Elijah did not have any expression on his face after hearing that. Jaiwoo immediately felt embarrassed. He was like, when did I care about you? After that Elijah changed the subject. I have submitted an application to join your student council. Thank you very much. I breathed a sigh of relief. Perhaps I have safely completed this mission. However, 1 week has passed. The student council still has not contacted her. The results should have been out already. Does anyone object to my joining? I will have to go to the student council and handle this. No sooner said than done. Jaiwoo immediately looked for the student council's office. She opened the door and looked around. Is no one here? Right at this moment a familiar voice. Lately it seems any dog or cow, or could be free to enter the student council office. She told us we should keep a distance. But we often meet like this. Clyde's way of speaking annoyed Jaiwoo, but she still had to try to restrain herself. I created these guys, but the way they talk is really arrogant. As a BJ, Jaiwoo still tried to act. She smilingly asked, I submitted an application to join the student council last week. Because I have not heard any notification yet, so I came here in person. Clyde picked up a piece of paper, an application to join, this thing. Perfect timing. The result for you has just been decided. That guy is holding her application. He burned it without hesitation. Clyde smugly continued, with the authority of the student council president, I officially reject Teresa Squire's acceptance into the student council. Jaiwoo also quickly tried to salvage the situation. She quickly cast a spell. Oh, paper that bears my name. Listen to my summon to come here. Her magic actually worked. Not only was the paper not burned, but it also left Clyde's hand on its own. Clyde was also surprised by this. Breaking evil magic is something that should be impossible. But if she completes the magic seal faster than Clyde. And Jaiwoo successfully retrieved the paper intact. Clyde did not seem to believe this. He frowned uncomfortably. Holding the paper in her hand, Jaiwoo was overjoyed. I did it. Jaiwoo happily shouted, I did it. Not only that, Jaiwoo excitedly ran to show off to Clyde. Look here, I summoned the application back from being shredded with this magic. Her actions made Clyde even more angry. He gritted his teeth. At this time Jaiwoo realized she had misspoke. She quickly stepped back. And Clyde stepped forward. Are you crazy? Do you think I can't take back a piece of paper from you just because of this? Jaiwoo put on a pitiful expression again. Just because I joined the student council does not mean I will be hanging around you. You are so sensitive. I did not want to join in the first place. Jaiwoo continued to argue. If Lady Squire joins the student council, there will be more people willing to be hired mercenaries. At first, the person who participated was Libby, and became a role model for the students, but now the mission is more important. Right at this moment the sound of clapping suddenly rang out. A man walked in and praised, that is impressive. Jaiwoo immediately recognized this person as the principal of Valhalla, and Clyde's grandfather. He smiled and said, thinking that someone succeeded in saying something to Clyde. I have looked at you in a different light, Lady Teresa. This person is Duke Noel Willow. Jaiwoo quickly greeted in a respectful manner, hello principal. He stepped over to Jaiwoo and said, Lady Teresa's magic level seems higher than in the transcript. Jaiwoo was both surprised and worried. How long has he been watching? He really is the principal of a magic academy. He is like a ghost. Perhaps it is thanks to the magic books read in addition that Professor Elijah suggested she read. Jaiwoo had actually read those books very carefully. In the room for a week, Teresa's intelligence increased 1 rank to rank B. The principal loudly declared, if such a talented person joins the student council, it will be a benefit to strengthen the council's confidence with the authority of the principal. Lady Teresa's joining has been accepted. Immediately the system popped up. The mission to join the student council is complete. Reward 100,000 Sue. After hearing him say that, Clyde shouted, Principal, what are you thinking? He was really impatient and he did not like this. But the mission is complete. Jaiwoo quickly promised, I guarantee I won't damage the reputation of the student council. The principal happily replied, I am looking forward to it. The two chatted happily and tacitly ignored Clyde. After recruiting Jaiwoo, the principal had to leave again. He instructed, well, do not fight and get along now. I am leaving now. As soon as the words ended, the door was closed. Clyde was very dissatisfied with this result. He gritted his teeth. The next second unpleasant words directly poured out from Clyde's mouth. Your ignorance has never failed to surprise me, making me wonder if you are human or not. Jaiwoo wanted to ask who made him so grumpy, but then she suddenly realized that person was herself. Clyde still did not want to stop just because the principal praised her and smiled. Do you really think he sincerely likes you? Clyde's words made the chat channel indignant. Who is that guy saying malicious things about our girl? And of course Jaiwoo understood that what he said was true, because the Willow and Squire families are enemies. And the principal only allowed Teresa into the student council because he saw the value in exploiting her. Even though Clyde said unpleasant things, Jaiwoo still smiled and replied, that is right, if I was a little more stupid I would not have been able to break your magic. Jaiwoo actually chose to provoke Clyde again. After that word she worriedly observed his expression. Jaiwoo felt guilty. Oh, I just provoked him. Clyde's eye color at this time had turned red. What do you mean by what you just said? Don't tell me just because you broke my magic once you think you are someone important. Jaiwo quickly denied, no, of course not. I have class, so I will go first. Jaiwo is still smart, she has to retreat before her rebellion rises up. Before leaving, she did not forget to say one more sentence, from now on let us get along. The door closed, the room was left with only Clyde. Changing the scene to the outside of the grand hall, all eyes were on Jaiwo. Jaiwo's expression at this time became gloomy. Why is he following me? The students started discussing again, why is Clyde following Teresa? Normally Teresa is the one who follows him. In just a moment, Jaiwo had attracted too much attention. And at this rate he would catch up, so Jaiwo hurriedly sped up, and she once again bumped into Damien. Jaiwo staggered backwards, thinking that she was about to fall on her, but what she did not expect was that there were two guys who wanted to catch her. This scene once again caused the chat channel to explode. The constellations are happy because many male leads appeared at the same time. The constellations are paying attention to those two people. The constellations are shouting kiss. Jaiwo confusedly apologized, I did not see you. Damien was not angry at all. He smiled and said, it is the third time we have bumped into each other. Sorry again, I was a bit careless. Damien quickly replied with a bright smile, no, it is okay as long as you are not hurt. As expected, people with red hearts have completely different personalities like angels. In contrast to that angelic personality is the demon Clyde. I coldly spoke, can you stand properly now? Jaiwo just noticed him, she quickly turned around and said thank you for catching me. Clyde still stubbornly denied. I did not catch you, I blocked you, so you would not fall to the ground and block my way, so you should say sorry, not thank you. These words of his were really arrogant, but if it is what he likes then Jaiwo has to go along with it. Sorry. Information reached Damien very quickly. He took the opportunity to ask immediately, Teresa, you have joined the student council. Joining the student council will have more achievements and benefits. Anyway, the scholarship is important. Jaiwo had just finished speaking when Clyde snatched the application out of her hand. Even if the principal let you in, you still have to submit an application, right? Clyde's actions made Damien uncomfortable. A second ago he was glaring at Clyde. A second later Damien turned to warmly talk to Jaiwo. That is great, Teresa, now we can meet often. If we do not participate in club activities, threatening each other's lives together is something to celebrate, but she still had to go along with Damien. That is right. There is nothing else. Jaiwo also made an excuse to slip away. Class is about to start, see you later, Damien. After Jaiwo left, Damien revealed his true face. He smirked. The student council, huh? Jaiwo's figure faded away. But when she turned back, Jaiwo saw Damien saying something. But what could that be? Jaiwo could only speculate. He just said this will be interesting. What does he mean? Jaiwo had started Elijah's class. He introduced, we will start the transformation art class, take the practice item. Even though she was in class, Jaiwo could not concentrate because of Damien's words earlier. He definitely said this will be interesting, right? What does that mean? Elijah gave each student an item and started talking. Today, you will transform the flower into a butterfly. The student who succeeds for the first time will get extra credit. Jaiwo had a flower in her hand. The students practiced with their flowers one by one. Someone had just tried and the flower exploded. I think there is something wrong, Professor. Only Jaiwo had not done anything. She was still lost in thought. It does not seem like the happy aspect when a friend joins the same club. It is more like he finds it annoying. Professor Elijah went down and guided the students. Imagine the exact image. If you do not, then no matter how much magic power you use, there will be no results. After speaking, Elijah noticed Jaiwo's expression again. With just a little bit of magic, the flower in Jaiwo's hand had turned into beautiful butterflies. Jaiwo did not realize at all that she had completed the experiment. She was just lost in thought. I do not know what will happen from now on, but if I feel the signs of a bad ending, then I should avoid it. It is too difficult. Professor Elijah had realized. He stepped forward. It seems you were dreaming in class, but you were able to turn it into a butterfly on your first try. Jaiwo tried to justify. As the professor said, when I imagined the exact image, I was able to succeed on the first try, to the point where I did not even realize I had succeeded. Since when? Elijah did not know what to question after hearing that. After that he explained again, that is right, mages are people who realize images. If you do not train your imagination well, even abundant magic power is useless. The surrounding classmates whispered, Teresa really did it. She used to hate this field. Professor Elijah raised his hand and caught a small butterfly. He slowly observed it and instructed, from now on just work hard. In the following classes Jaiwo performed very well. She received a lot of praise from the professors. This is the type of medicine that is very well formulated. Other students can only make mouse gray. You did not make any mistakes in the movements today. You can be called the flower of the association room without a scratch. Faced with those praises, Jaiwo also responded skillfully. Thanks to the professor's excellent solution, I was able to start understanding the lesson. The conspirator constellation has donated 1,000 sous. How good is she at flattering? After finishing class on the way to the library, Jaiwo pondered again. I did it. I did not even put in any effort. If I was really good at flattering, I would not have had a hard time when I was Jaiwoo. The door was opened. Jaiwoo quickly went inside. Indeed, the library on the first floor is comfortable because it has private reading rooms. Because there is no one here right now, Jaiwoo was finally able to sit comfortably. The class went very well, but why do I feel so suffocated today? At this time Jaiwoo suddenly remembered Damien's words, if you are planning to escape from now on you should not choose places like this, you will be discovered soon. She imagined it herself and startled herself. Jaiwoo reassured herself, but this place will be fine, Damien does not use the library on the first floor. Immediately afterwards tangled thoughts overwhelmed her again, is that really the case? What if another developer who is not me added another setting detail? What if I have not checked that setting? Then what I know might be. My interference may change the story. No matter where I go that place might not be safe. When there is only one red heart, how do the male leads behave? What did I do to increase their favorability? I do not know how stupid I really thought I could live here like other people. I need to do something immediately, otherwise, no one will love me. I can't breathe, my body feels strange, I can't use strength. I want to escape from here, I want to go out, I want to go out, I want to get out of here right now. These pressures made Jaiwoo exhausted. Sometimes she felt like she was falling into an abyss. One hand reached out and caught her. Oswald appeared again. He gently guided her, slowly. Slowly, I have stopped time. You can't collapse, Lady Teresa. Jaiwoo's tears still could not stop falling. Just when she felt the most tired, Oswald brought her warmth. She asked herself, am I safe now? Oswald was not smiling this time. He said, this is not fun at all. After that he took Jaiwoo to see someone. Is that your BJ? Oswald gently held Jaiwoo in his arms. Then he replied, that is right, Jang. He quickly took out the equipment and checked Jaiwoo's health. Very quickly there was a conclusion, as expected, it is a symptom of transmigrating into a different body. She is very depressed, considering that there are errors with her condition, it is still fine. But I did not expect her to stop time, she could have made the chat channel more interesting. There are countless BJs who can't endure the symptoms of transmigrating and eventually die. Teresa is a BJ who constantly breaks records, such a valuable existence. I have no intention of letting her become a failure. Oswald continued to say, this BJ's face has changed a lot compared to the first video. Although the appearance of the body being transmigrated into is affected by the soul, it is rare for it to change so significantly like this. That is why I have high expectations. The more their appearance changes, the more excited I get about the BJ, Jang responded, that is a bit evil. Jang also had his own thoughts. If even Oswald, who is famous for pushing BJs to the extreme, said that, the broadcasting tree must be extremely brutal. But, this BJ's eyes, they sparkle with something. As soon as he reached out to touch her face, Oswald immediately hugged her and dodged to the side. He was still smiling, but his voice carried a bit of threat. Jang, that action goes against professional principles. No one understood what happened, but Jang did not seem to know he had done that. Jang immediately apologized. I am sorry, I did not expect that even Jang would be attracted to Jaiwoo. He blamed himself, that is just a human toy to satisfy the constellations. I was momentarily mesmerized by something. I was negligent in front of this guy. I heard he has enough suit to even by gods. If anything goes wrong he will kill everyone including the management team, and then apologize with money. After that he continued to examine Jaiwoo and gave the conclusion, the twisting of the soul has been eliminated, because the soul has now fully adapted to the body. The sudden trauma happened without warning, the transmigrating error will not occur again. Oswald was very satisfied after hearing that. Very good, Jang. I just transferred the money, so please check it. As soon as the words ended he left with Jaiwoo. Jang did not seem to care much about Oswald. I accepted this job because the money was very hard to refuse, but that damn personality is getting worse. But then he had no other choice, so he could only leave. Well, I am leaving now. Oswald took Jaiwoo to another place. Jaiwoo had not woken up. He hugged her and confided, those human bugs smell the scent and have gathered. It is so annoying, Teresa. Perhaps it is invisible to ordinary people, but her soul is filled with the light of the stars. The purer the constellation's feelings, the clearer that light is. To the point that I want to destroy it. That is a very beautiful scene. Oswald had seen the soul inside her. No wonder Jang was moved by this trivial toy. Oswald's hand gently touched Jaiwoo's beautiful face. It seemed to have transmitted warmth to her. Seeing her move slightly, he did not dare to breathe loudly. Her hair fell long. Jaiwoo actually rubbed herself into Oswald's chest. His expression at this time looked extremely confused. Immediately afterwards, he quickly checked his watch. It is time to visit the other trees, but should I spend one more minute? Next time I will meet you when you are awake. Changing the scene back to the Squire family's mansion. The letter that Jaiwoo sent had reached Duke Raoul's hand. Donovan was also there, the Duke said. It seems Teresa intends to let Damien West be the guardian mage. Donovan immediately continued, yes, that is right, it is a wise choice. He is the most outstanding mage in the Squire family's funding, and some people say he will become the next chairman of the association. Duke Raoul still felt worried, but I thought his commoner background would make the relationship with Teresa worse. Donovan, after hearing that, continued to report another matter. Actually, I need to report, Lady Teresa has joined the student council. Duke Raoul could not keep his composure. He loudly questioned, what you are saying? She joined that association because of that damn Clyde. The student council is under the command of the Willow family, and they are a group of monster and demon hunters. The older daughters of the Squire family joining the student council by just a bit can make Willow look more superior than Squire. As if it has been acknowledged. Duke Raoul helplessly supported his forehead. Well, I doubt Teresa thought like that. Is that all the report? Donovan immediately continued, there is one more thing. Her close maids have a request. They requested the family tailor to come. It seems Lady Teresa's uniform needs to be adjusted. Lately, when she started reading magic books, she focused so much that she did not touch snacks. They said she had lost a lot of weight. Duke Raoul was very surprised about this, a very unusual thing for Teresa. Right at this moment, a knock on the door came from outside the office. Libby happily pushed the door open and walked in. Dad, I am back. He quickly went over and asked, Libby, you came home early today. Is everything okay at school? The girl quickly replied, of course, the lessons are very fun and I also made a lot of friends. Duke Raoul paused for a moment after hearing that, then he asked again, is your sister okay? That Clyde, or whatever his name is, he still has not disappeared. I wonder when she will wake up. Libby hesitantly replied, Father, I still do not know much about my sister. But she is a good person. Her reaction surprised him. It is the first time she has spoken so decisively. She protected Teresa. Even I as her father have never protected Teresa's reputation. But strangely, why do I feel satisfied? And then he also followed Libby's words, okay, if you feel that way. But before he could finish speaking, Giuseppa suddenly appeared and shouted, she is a very bad person. If you knew what she did to Mom, you would not be able to call her a good person. Libby immediately refuted, do you think you are saying something wrong? Giuseppa resolutely replied, yes, you have definitely been deceived. Listening to these words, Duke Raoul was very embarrassed. He immediately stopped the two. If you continue to act so rude, then I won't let it go. Being scolded by her father, Giuseppa angrily left. Libby hurriedly called after, Giuseppa, wait. After that, she also left the Duke's room. After everyone left, the Duke confided in Donovan again, it has been a long time since I have heard the kids argue. Lady Libby and young Master Giuseppa have always been harmonious, he said gloomily. To have two such close friends argue because of Teresa, who is not even here really. Speaking of this, he suddenly stopped, then gave an order, prepare the donation fund. I need to go to Valhalla. Donovan did not do it right away but asked again, Master, is that really necessary? Raoul explained, Emperor, your Majesty has always pretended to care about the disputes between the families and put pressure on the Squire family. If we at least pretend to be harmonious in this opportunity, perhaps His Majesty will be more comfortable with the kids in this high society party. At Valhalla, each club organizes a party to welcome new members, and Clyde's future wife is the same. Jaiwoo is on her way. And she accidentally encountered the demon Clyde again. Jaiwoo sighed to herself again, on this day again, meeting the most annoying guy. She told herself that it is best to avoid him before arguing. Living in the dormitory makes me bump into them all the time. Should I move the dormitory now? Because I have a lot of money now, I want to buy a mansion near the school and move there. But in this world, unmarried people can't live alone. Seeing that Jaiwoo did not bother paying attention to him, Clyde angrily brushed past her, startling Jaiwoo. What is he doing this for? Jaiwoo was very curious. Was this guy deliberately brushing past me? The dopamine addict Constellation has donated 1,000 sous. It is too childish. With her childish personality, Jaiwoo did not want to be at a disadvantage. She quickly rushed up. You are challenging me, huh? You think I will lose? Jaiwoo chased after him all the way. But she still could not catch up with Clyde. No matter how fast she went, she could not catch up with him. The Constellation sent comments laughing at Jaiwoo. The type of person with limited brains suddenly walks fast forward and starts an unnecessary challenge. Jaiwoo embarrassedly denied. Who said we have a challenge? I am just on my way to the club's party. The door was just opened. All eyes were on that side. As soon as they saw her, the girls ran over and cheered. Teresa, you are finally here. The club's room is really great. It is all thanks to our president Teresa. Jaiwoo also secretly admitted, I heard the principal directly directed the selection of the best room. The fact that Clyde's fan club donated the most is quite convincing. But in the end, it was a matter of pleasing his grandson's fan club. After Jaiwoo arrived, the party quickly began. Everyone, let us start the orientation. On such a historic day, we can't ignore the president's speech, right? Everyone applaud for Teresa. That applause made Jaiwoo want to dig into the ground. And there is one more problem. We still have not seen Romeo. She is often absent due to health problems. And perhaps this is good for Jaiwoo because of the words she is about to say next. Jaiwoo quickly raised her voice. Welcome everyone to the club. As members of Clyde's future bride club, we are required to set a better example than damaged souls. Jaiwo did not try to raise their spirits, but the presence of enemies helps both sides to develop. If we want to let everyone know that we are better ladies than Demisa, we should start by avoiding things that damage our reputation on campus. From now on, club members will behave like well-mannered ladies without any special reason. I will not pursue Clyde. These words of Jaiwo shocked all the girls. Do you mean we should not follow Clyde? Stopping suddenly is too embarrassing. I think that is a necessary rule. It is also about Clyde's discomfort. Moreover, that is a rule made by Teresa. With just a few words, everyone unanimously agreed. We strongly support this law. I was originally planning to support it. Jaiwo was very satisfied with this result. The constellation born from Teresa's heart has sent 1,000 sous. Our girl was really born to be on stage. Jaiwo was happy that no one refuted this. Just because we are in the club does not mean everyone follows Clyde. As expected, the noble ladies who were always uncomfortable seeing that scene stood up and said, I have said what I needed to say, now let us enjoy the prepared desserts and have fun. After the speech, the girls started to disperse and enjoy the party. Teresa, do you know what I brought for you today? It is something that is in my father's collection. If we want him to live long, we should drink this Sun Picacha 30-year-old vintage wine that is a very rare type of wine. The other girls also ran over excitedly. I brought the champagne that my grandfather said he would open on the day my little brother gets married. I also brought the wine that my grandmother had a hard time getting 50 years ago. Jaiwo, after hearing that, could only feel helpless. It is really a gathering of obedient daughters. The romance novel addict Constellation has donated 1,000 sous. Is this romance? The girls greatly revered Teresa. Because this is rare wine, Teresa, the most knowledgeable person in the empire, should drink first. Jaiwo was startled. What, I can't drink? But how can this word erase the past of Teresa, who was once drunk? She is so funny making jokes like that. Out of options, Jaiwo had to receive the glass of wine. But just a second later, Jaiwo was attracted by the scent of it. I never thought wine could taste so good. This is the first time she drank wine. Jaiwo took a small sip and praised it as really delicious. After hearing Jaiwo's assessment, the girls started drinking. I knew you would like it. Drink, let us go all the way today. Very quickly, it was late at night. Jaiwo at this time was completely drunk. The girls were picked up one by one. Lady, your family has come to pick you up. Why did you drink so much when you have a weak tolerance? You really know how to make father worry. All the girls had their parents come to pick them up, only Jaiwo had no one. At this time, a voice rang out. Teresa, you are awake, I will take you back to the dormitory. Jaiwo thought she was dreaming. For so long she had always assumed that no one would come looking for her. So, Jaiwo without looking answered immediately, it is okay, I will go back myself. How drunk are you? My relatives won't come to pick me up, I am leaving now, I can go by myself. As soon as she finished speaking, Duke Raoul raised his voice and called, Teresa Squire. Jaiwo at this time opened her eyes and looked up. Even she did not expect that the Duke would come. The atmosphere became surprisingly silent. The Duke looked at her with an indescribable look, then said, follow me. Jaiwo quickly stood up and followed him out. Throughout the journey, Jaiwo could not figure out why he was here. Raoul never came to Valhalla, the family feud was for the setup. She still had not realized the changes in this world. Jaiwo simply thought this was a setup error. But anyway, the feeling of having someone come to pick her up was really great. Raoul had noticed Jaiwo's silly smile. He turned back and asked, what are you smiling at? Jaiwo was so drunk that she could not control her words. Now you are my father, right? Now she was Teresa. Even though she was adopted, Raoul had raised her like his own daughter. At this time, Jaiwo suddenly grabbed Duke Raoul's hand. Can I hold father's hand and walk? I also want, at least once, to walk home holding father's hand. Duke Raoul was silent. After that he let go of her hand without hesitation. No matter what world it is, Jaiwo is still abandoned, but she still hopes that can be done at least just once. Right at this moment he suddenly spoke, if so it will take a long time to get to the dormitory. As soon as the words ended, Raoul sat down right in front of the girl. And said, climb up. His actions made Jaiwo stunned. But then Jaiwo realized, she smiled a childlike smile again. Jaiwo chattered again, my wish is to climb on father's back. How did father know? The Duke gently replied, I did not. Are you too heavy? Not at all. She leaned her head on the Duke's shoulder. Because he is like Duke Raoul, that is why Teresa is also very strong. In a daze, Jaiwo whispered, Teresa is also like father. The Duke immediately denied, what nonsense are you talking about? When I was young I was not like you, not true. In some way Raoul's voice was gentler than before. Jaiwo really turned into a child confiding in her father. Father, do you know? I have always been jealous of other kids, their parents come to pick them up, that never happened to me. But today father came. So today it feels like I am less pathetic. These confiding words of Jaiwo made Raoul thoughtful. Throughout the journey Jaiwo kept chattering in her father's ear. And now that action helped her achieve the fastest record of reaching 1 million sous. Again there were many new constellations joining the broadcast, the channel's rank upgraded from silver to gold. Jaiwo had fallen asleep on the Duke's back without knowing when she woke up she was on her soft bed. Jaiwoo had just woken up when a headache hit. This is definitely a hangover. No matter how strong Teresa's tolerance is, she can't handle all that soju at once. And all the donations pouring in from viewers made my head hurt even more. Jaiwoo completely did not remember what she did yesterday except drinking. Viewer Hahabus donated 10,000 su. I am most thrilled when BJ is like this. Jaiwoo now discovered that the su had increased. Achieving the fastest record and the channel's ranking increasing, she now grasped. Just getting to that point, Jaiwoo dreamed of being able to collect 1 billion su. She quickly opened the broadcast settings, channel name Villainess BJ, position 99, total donations 1,397,500 su. The comments popped up again. The broadcast is brighter than my future. Well, look at this broadcast growing to a high rank right from the start. Crazy blue chip stock. Jaiwoo read and analyzed the data. Developing and entering the top 100 seems pretty good. How high is 99th place? There was a comment responding immediately after. Extremely high. There have been ranks and entered the top 100 before, but this is the first time entering the top 100 right after. At this time a knock on the door came from outside. Come in. Eloise said cheerfully, lady, you are awake. Here it is, please use it, will help you feel better inside, thank you. Jaiwoo was eating breakfast while trying to remember the events of yesterday, but the only thing she could remember was that she downed 10 bottles of soju. Now thinking about it, how did I get back here? Eloise exclaimed, oh my lady, do not you remember? The head of the family brought you back. Raoul, no, my father, no, I do not remember exactly from where, but he brought you back. He came to donate a large sum of money to the school, and when leaving he left this paper for you. I have appointed Damien West as your guardian mage. Obviously he is a prominent talented mage. However, because of his low status, skip the appointment ceremony to avoid people talking. And soon, under the name of the Squire family, a new practice field, library and garden will be built. A popular restaurant and coffee shop will also be opened next month. Profits from the commercial part will be transferred into scholarships for students under the name of the Squire and Willow families. This will be managed by the Squire Scholarship Fund. Jaiwoo could not believe what she just read, meaning he entrusted that authority to me. He made such a decision even after seeing me drunk last night. Raoul extremely hates people who lose their dignity. Jaiwoo continued to read, and I see that you have lost a lot of weight today. Don't skip meals, take good care of yourself and drink in moderation, your father. Jaiwoo was still very shocked he cares about me. This type of nagging is not too bad, no, instead. It feels like the inside of my heart is being filled with soft bubbles. After eating breakfast, Jaiwoo came to school. As soon as they saw her, the girls ran over. Good morning, Teresa. The party yesterday was really fun. Did you get home safely? Oh, by the way, Duke Squire carried you from Valhalla's main building, right? Jaiwoo confused. Is that true? Yes, he looked very sweet. Honestly, I am very jealous. Jaiwoo still did not understand. If it is the main building, then it is connected to the front gate where many people come and go. He actually did that, ignoring everyone's eyes. Seeing Jaiwoo's expression, the ladies cheered again. Oh, my lady Teresa, your face is blushing. Are you embarrassed? Immediately someone refuted for Jaiwoo. Impossible. Lady Teresa does not even know what embarrassment is. She drank a lot yesterday, so she is probably not feeling well. Seeing that the situation seemed bad, Jaiwoo planned to skip. She pretended to be tired and said it was nice to see everyone. Where are you going, Lady Teresa? You are running away because you are embarrassed, right? Jaiwoo continued to go to class. Mimosa suddenly appeared behind and shouted, Teresa. How dare you stab me in the back and join the student council? Making Damien your guardian mage is enough, and what else do you want? You better withdraw from there now. The character Mimosa is said to be too afraid of demons and monsters to join the association. That is why she did not tell, but she still found out. Jaiwoo blamed herself. I should have run to the library. Right at this moment, an idea flashed in Jaiwoo's mind. Jaiwoo, without saying anything, turned around and ran away. Mimosa angrily shouted, I have not finished speaking. I said leave the student council immediately. As soon as she finished speaking, Elijah appeared from somewhere. She was immediately choked. Hello, Professor Elijah. The ability to sense malice of the Rodrigo Royals is very outstanding. That is the reason why Mimosa, who has royal blood, instinctively fears Elijah, and our professor still has the elegance of a great demon as usual. As soon as Jaiwoo saw Elijah, she smiled flatteringly. Hello, Professor Elijah. I have read the book you recommended. Even though she felt wrong, Jaiwoo had no other choice. Can I borrow another book? Elijah replied, follow me, and just like that Jaiwoo escaped again. Next time, see you later, Mimosa. Jaiwoo followed Elijah to the office again. Having walked just a bit, Jaiwoo could not keep up. She panted and called out. Professor Elijah, I am still drunk. Can we go a little slower? Elijah actually used that to teach Jaiwoo something. Tolerance is a basic element of a mage. Monsters will eat you alive if you only learn theory. Jaiwoo was scared. I am sorry. Finally the two arrived at the office. Come in. Elijah held out his hand towards Jaiwoo. Does he want to escort me inside? She actually put her hand on Professor Elijah's hand. He still kept a cold face and asked, "What are you doing?" "You are asking for the book back." Only then did Jaiwo realize she had misunderstood. Oh god, so embarrassing, why did I do that? She confusedly handed the book to Elijah but it slipped. The book was dropped by her on the ground. Seeing Elijah bending down to pick up the book, a feeling of extreme fear rose in Jaiwo's heart. But he still did not show any attitude. "Do you have any questions?" "A question, oh about the book, I do." Even though Jaiwo was not sure if it was okay to ask a great demon about this, she still decided to say it. "I have a question about a magical creature affected by demonic energy. I want to know more about a spell that can cure the affected magical creature. Professor Felix's book can help." A comment popped up. Is he talking about the ideal type she mentioned in Oswald's interview? Elijah continued to ask, "Do you have his class?" Jaiwo this time had a big problem. Professor Felix Lockhart teaches magical creatures, and all the animals in this world hate Teresa. That is why Jaiwo tried to prepare for the worst situation. After that, Jaiwo answered Elijah's question, "No, I do not have it. I want to prepare for the possible monster encounters when I am a member of the student council." Right at this moment, the office door suddenly burst open. Professor Felix skipped over Professor Elijah. "Oh, you have a guest." Jaiwo quickly greeted, "Hello Professor Felix." Again a comment popped up, "That person who seems like a mad scientist is your ideal type." After directly facing Felix, Jaiwo realized her mistake. Why was my reason so sloppy at that time? It is hard to say he is someone's type just based on appearance. Felix observed her for a while then suddenly spoke, "Interesting. According to my data, there is only Teresa Squire, who has dark brown hair and silver gray eyes." Felix poked Jaiwo's chubby cheek. She helplessly said, "I am Teresa, what is he doing?" Seeing that impolite action of Professor Felix, Elijah stopped him. "Stop, she is my student." Felix immediately justified, "I did not do anything, I just made sure she was not a doppelganger monster. They said Teresa has a face like a cat affected by demonic energy, but now she looks more like a sick puppy." Jaiwo after hearing that, quickly explained, It is because I drank a few glasses of wine at the club party." Felix excitedly continued, "There you see, the demonic energy is all gone." He was immediately corrected by Elijah, "Do not talk nonsense." Even so, Felix kept saying, "My special honey tea is the best thing for this hangover. Honey from magical flowers has very special effects, do you know? You also know that the makeup products you make from honey are also your main source of income." Felix panicked, "How did you know? I did not name the brand after me." "If you ask how I know that you are the owner of the Generate factory, I guess it is because of the power of my social status." Felix was exposed. He cried and begged, "You will keep it a secret, right? I have been threatened to kill after releasing the limited edition product. It is all because the supply of goods is very difficult. Of course, I won't tell anyone, really." "Then can you agree to write it on the contract?" While the two were talking, Elijah just quietly stood on the side and observed the shameful morality of his colleague. "You really do not need to worry. Instead I will take a glass of your honey tea. Professor Elijah will be the witness." "Right Professor," Elijah agreed. Felix was very reassured with Elijah. He happily invited Jaiwo, "Okay. Then come to my lab, I can give you 100 glasses." Jaiwo also knew how to take the opportunity. "Can I borrow books about how to treat magical creatures affected by demonic energy too?" "Oh wow, I did not know you were interested in my class." "Of course you can. You can also register for my class if you want. Nobles in this school have great influence, so no one can say anything when you change your major." Jaiwo followed Felix to the lab, and Elijah also followed. She could not understand him. Very quickly the three arrived at Felix's lab. "Welcome to my lab." As soon as she stepped in, Jaiwo felt a strange magic power. She glanced around. That golden magic power is from magical creatures. This is bad. Teresa has the worst compatibility with magical creatures. Jaiwo confusedly looked at them. Just thinking about that, a magical creature suddenly jumped towards Jaiwo. She fearfully stepped back. "I am going to die." However, no murder happened. The creatures not only did not hate her but even liked her very much. The creatures from big to small all surrounded Jaiwo. "What is happening?" Felix hurriedly ran over. "Oops, are you okay? I forgot that I was letting these creatures out for a moment, but it is strange, magical creatures are very smart, they do not usually rush to people like this." That small white creature seems to like Jaiwo very much. It keeps licking Jaiwo non-stop. "Professor, can you take them somewhere else?" The little guys also looked at her intently. Felix was also quite surprised about this. "Teresa, I think you might be a genius in the field of magical creatures." Jaiwo blankly, "Me, does Teresa have such a talent?" Felix excitedly explained, "Mages who can control magical creatures are extremely rare. You have a high-quality magic power and a natural ability to adapt to them. Why do not you change your major?" Professor Felix is the one saying it, but it is suspicious. Jaiwo asked further, "Exactly how do you see it?" I can tell you everything now and you might not believe it, so why do not you try it once? Jaiwo still trusts her memory. Impossible. Usually, magical creatures will bare their teeth the moment Teresa gets close. Will they really listen? Even though she did not know what the result would be, Jaiwo still tried. She ordered them to sit down. Then the command to lie down. Raise your leg. They actually did as she said. Felix was overjoyed, cheering. See, they listened to you without needing magic power as a reward. Even though your grades in elemental magic are terrible, you probably do not want to change your major, right? Seeing that Jaiwo seemed to waver, a hand unexpectedly placed on her shoulder. The power of the person also immediately made Felix wary. Elijah pushed Jaiwo behind him. The creatures were backing away, guessing that they could sense danger. After all, they are sensitive to demonic energy. Elijah did not need to ask Jaiwo for permission. He straightforwardly refused for her. Teresa is my student. This must be the highest level of favorability response Elijah can show when there is one red heart. Felix also did not give up. It is rare for someone to be good at elemental magic from the start, at most maybe someone like Clyde, or me. Teresa is just a pitiful mage who chose the wrong major. Elijah immediately refuted. Teresa has only just started to get better at elemental magic. At this time, Felix came up with a crazy idea. How about double majoring? Jaiwo will refuse. She is very worried about the change in Elijah's favorability. She confusedly said, I appreciate the offer, but I am already a junior. Felix still insisted, then it is a waste. You are an extraordinary genius that has never appeared in research papers. Elijah simply advised him with a sentence, give up. The creature seemed to be able to sense the rejection from Jaiwo. They came closer again and put on a pitiful face. And then Jaiwo realized, these guys think I am in danger. They think they need to help me, that they have to protect me. Felix stroked the magical creature and continued, this is the first time I have seen them so active. They used to be tainted by demonic energy, and only recently returned to normal. Until today, they were not very well, which made me worried, but the moment they saw you, they immediately became completely healthy. The comments rose up again. I am not superstitious, but has anyone ever seen a streamer possess their own content experience and related things? The more sensitive the creature's settings are, the more clearly they feel the creator's purity and love. The more the creator loves that world, the more that world accepts the creator as their supreme being and treats them friendly. Jaiwo finally understood clearly, so that is how it is. No wonder I feel like my emotions are connected. I have a feeling like we are connected, but I do not think it is real. When a magical creature is tainted by demonic energy, they are swallowed by darkness, their eyes glow red, and they become monsters with fierce appearances. Jaiwo is the one who created this painful setup, so how could they like her? She was very apologetic about that. Jaiwo expressed a sincere apology to them, I am sorry. And now she understood. Why did Raoul leave a nagging note? He worries about me because he cares about me. At this time, Elijah spoke, interrupting Jaiwo's thoughts. Class is about to start, let us go. Felix picked up the book and ran over. Wait, take this book you borrowed, you can return at any time, although the sooner the better. Jaiwo understood the character's psychology. He means he wants her to come back here. Sunlight sneaks through each window pane. Jaiwo's mood at this time seemed to be much better. She was happy that she had successfully borrowed the book she wanted. Seeing her smile blankly, Elijah asked again, are you thinking about changing your major? Jaiwo startled replied, no, not at all. Magical creatures are very sensitive. Humans can't match their magic flow at all. They are powerful, but difficult to control, so only a small group studies them. That is why if you enter the field of magical creatures, you can get fame and wealth. You have an extraordinarily good level of compatibility. If you change your major, you will definitely show outstanding talent. Jaiwo also thought like Elijah, maybe that is right, but I do not intend to become a great mage, and so she replied that, Professor Elijah, I would rather have your acceptance. I am finally understanding elemental magic, and the more I learn, the more interesting it becomes. It is a field with endless potential. Elijah, after hearing that, did not advise her anymore. I understand. This time, Elijah was not walking as fast as before. It seemed like he had slowed down so she could keep up. Jaiwo was very happy about that. And then she suddenly realized, he is adjusting the speed to match me. Has his favorability increased? Jaiwo's eyes lit up again. The favorability had actually increased by 1 red heart. The constellations were carefully observing the change in favorability. Some of them had started to support the plot with Elijah. Jaiwo was very surprised. The favorability is at this level. This speed is unbelievable. Even if I played with Libby's role, to have 2 red hearts in hard mode, I had to meet in person at least 20 times. Did I do something decisive that filled Elijah's heart? She started guessing, maybe it is because of the magical creatures. Originally magical students lived in heaven, but 100 years ago, because of the space crack caused by the great demon, plants and animals in heaven fell to earth. Because the magic energy of people in heaven is the most delicious food for magical creatures. During his days as a great angel, Elijah easily controlled all magical creatures. Perhaps magical creatures, something that he is more familiar with than anyone, are behaving friendly to me. Seeing her keep looking at him, Elijah proactively addressed the issue, silently staring at others. Is to seduce or insult them both seem inappropriate for a student to do to a professor. Jai was startled, realized, she hastily justified, it is because you look especially cool today. Just use the most basic flattery, my flattery used to work well with professors. Elijah coldly actually smiled. So that is seduction. Jaiwa was stunned, she blankly could not speak. Even so, Elijah did not let go, he used really bold words to respond to her. After that he entered the classroom. Many constellations support the Elijah plotline. Jaiwa at this time was blushing shyly, no way, it must be a joke. Not long after that, information about Duke Raoul supporting the school and Teresa's story spread everywhere. People competed to discuss. I heard the Squire family donated a lot of money. Does this mean they are improving relations with the Willow family? Damien was appointed as Teresa's guardian mage. The Duke of Squire himself came to appoint him right. Even though he is talented, he is still a commoner. And the biggest thing is Teresa joining the student council. The constellations evaluated Jaiwu as a whimsical power star. Jaiwu did not seem to like this. Rumors with a lot of attention spread quickly. It is annoying because there are more people approaching unnecessarily. Because she became the center of attention, Jaiwu rarely had private time. At this time she was able to escape to a secluded place. No one will come here. The BJ Mukbang Search constellation has donated 10,000 su. Have you been eating more lately? Your skin is also better. Jaiwu did not deny. Now that I think about it, my appetite has returned. It seems the headache has disappeared. I have been having headaches a lot lately. Last time I even fainted in the library. After that, who brought me to the sofa? I do not remember anything because I collapsed on the chair. The comments buzzed. Maybe it is a symptom when transmigrating. Many BJs have this symptom right after transmigrating. Jai was surprisingly asked, so there is also a transmigrating symptom. Is it a symptom that can exist? Transmigrating into a villainess. It would be strange if I said there were no problems. When stressed, I often hide abandoned items. Now that I think about it, after applying that is why I isolated myself. Like that, is it a transmigrating symptom? Anyway, it is good that I am okay now. Jaiwa was sitting resting when someone came looking. Senior Teresa. Rainy Rose came with a large box and said, hello. The girl was very surprised when Jaiwa called her name. How do you know my name? Rainy Rose is a supporting character who helps the character Libby created by her team. If developed properly, she can create alchemical objects. She often appears in the abandoned annex. Now that I think about it, this is the road to that area. Rainy Rose confusedly asked, can I pass by? Jaiwa looked at the girl and secretly assessed, she is very wary of me. Teresa is a crazy noble who can't tolerate commoners passing in front of her. But this time it was Jaiwu. She happily accepted. Of course. Rainy Rose, why is she going? The girl confusedly said, I have not eaten yet. Jaiwu did not feel strange with this line because she is set as a poor commoner. Jaiwu stood up and walked towards the girl. After that, she happily gave her food to Rainy Rose. Here, take it. It is a sandwich, but I have not touched it. I lost my appetite, so can you eat it for me? Rainy Rose confusedly received it. Thank you, Senior. Right at this moment the girl unexpectedly discovered something. Senior, are you interested in magical creatures? Jaiwu replied, a bit. There is a problem about magical creatures being tainted by bad energy, and it is getting worse. The damage to civilians unprepared for this is increasing. Hearing these words, Rainy Rose's expression changed again. After that she quickly continued, Jaiwu, then there is a book called Encyclopedia of Magical Plants. There are illustrations to help understand it better, really. Being kind to Teresa, even though she speaks bluntly, that character has a warm heart. Jaiwu replied with a bright smile. I should borrow it from the library later, thank you. Rainy Rose shyly said, no need to thank me. Jaiwu asked again, this time I heard the knights were dispatched to Pansy Village, the village where Damien lives. That is right, it will last for 1 month. Rainy Rose, surprised, said that, I also live in that village. My mother was very happy to see the knights. It has become a village protected by the Squire family. When hearing this, Jaiwu felt very happy. Is that a roundabout way to thank me for protecting the village? That girl is really like Professor Elijah boring. Why are you smiling? Jaiwu helplessly, it is not just that. Because you are lovely. Rainy Rose blushed, she hurriedly ran away. I am leaving now, go, do not fall. After the girl left, Jaiwu continued to check the broadcast channel. This time the setting had dropped to 105th place. Jaiwu wondered, is it because I have only been broadcasting quietly these past few days that the ranking dropped out of the top 100 again? She started thinking, you can't escape the trend forever. If the constellations lose interest in the broadcast channel, who knows what that guy might do? But then Jaiwu reassured herself, do not be too stressed. Later, Jaiwu returned to school. Today is the first meeting of the student council. As soon as she entered, Damien and Clyde were there. The scene was frighteningly silent. Seeing those two people, Jaiwo's expression changed slightly. There are so many places, but I have to sit between Damien and Clyde. Seeing her, Damien spoke. Teresa, sit here. Even the game does not force such a strange seating arrangement. The chat channel appeared with the keyword love triangle and was immediately rejected by Jaiwo. A love triangle. Clyde won't look at me anymore. After she arrived, Clyde spoke. Let us start the meeting. The members started discussing. Recently, magical creatures near the capital have been reported to be tainted by toxic gas. People's fear is increasing. We should care for households outside the noble's protection zone. The protection zone should be expanded with more guards. Like how Senior Teresa sent knights to Pansy Village. Damien also spoke. That way we'll expand the area infinitely. The Empire can't afford to fund everywhere indefinitely like that. Damien did not object, but he is protecting. Do not talk nonsense. One of the members turned to Jaiwo. So why does not Lady Teresa help? The student council's mission reflects the Willow family's work. Won't you wholeheartedly do it, Senior? You can double the protection zone. If funded under the name of President Clyde, we will share the merit as well as the blame. Jaiwo also realized their hidden intention. If I was the real Teresa, I would want to pair up with Clyde. How dare they provoke a sleeping lion? As Jaiwo predicted, Clyde angrily stood up. He ordered, the members who have been speaking just now will personally pay for the expansion. The amount is equal to the donation of the Squire Family Scholarship Organization. Those people immediately suffered the consequences. President, that is unfair. Equal to the Squire donation. That is a bit too much. Clyde did not give them a chance to argue. Silently, is your request fair? This question immediately embarrassed them. No more words to say back. Clyde's actions were very unusual. Why is he defending me? Right at this moment the system pushed a mission for Jaiwo. Embarrass Dorno. Reward plus 500,000 Su. Failure expulsion through the schemes of the nobility pairing the Squire family. The risk level is ridiculously absurd, but Jaiwo can't be expelled. She carried out the mission immediately. Jaiwo at this time spoke. That is right, Dorno. That is very reckless. Promoting the expansion of the Squire's influence, that can be reported to His Majesty. Valhalla Student Council is a paramilitary force. Controlling the descendants of the large families makes it politically unstable. To survive it needs public justification, so it pretends to support the emperor on the surface. All meetings are recorded for royal authority. Moreover, expanding the protection zone can be misunderstood. That my family is disputing Walidus territory. Everyone knows the Squire family's territory, but touching the royal family will change everything. Touching the land ruled by His Majesty hates resisting his authority. The most one wrong step can make us traitors. Dorno was made to feel embarrassed. He quickly bowed his head and apologized. Forgive me, I spoke ambiguously, please forgive my ignorance. A tick later, mission complete, reward plus 500,000 Su. Jaiwo finally felt comfortable. Now we can have a meeting without being bothered. After dealing with Dorno, Jaiwo suddenly realized, did that deviate a bit from Teresa's image? At this time the room door burst open again. A student hurriedly ran in and called President Clyde. Monsters just attacked Tuberosa village. More than 10 people have been injured. The principal ordered the student council to inspect. The student council quickly received the order and proceeded to Tuberosa village. And of course Jaiwo was indispensable. In just a moment she spent all the reward money on horseback riding skills. On the way there, Clyde questioned her again. Why did you hesitate just now? This is an urgent matter. Actually at that time Jaiwo had to look at the store. Not long ago, Damien worried when he saw she did not get on the horse. He ran over and asked, what is wrong, Teresa? Actually at that time she was just waiting for the horseback riding skill to be sold. She had not even ridden a bicycle. Being questioned by Clyde, Jaiwo angrily scolded, impatient guy. But he did not seem to hear clearly, so Jaiwo had to make an excuse. Oh sorry, suddenly forgot how to ride. He used unpleasant words to criticize her again, truly incompetent. Damien was also secretly observing her expression. After that, he spoke, Teresa, next time tell me first, I will teach you. At this time she remembered Damien. He could have stopped Clyde from sending her. Before that Clyde sent Damien and Teresa to go with him to handle it, and Damien did not object. Clyde can talk, but when he sees her chatting with Damien he shows displeasure. Enough chattering. The three finally arrived at the village. The village at this time was engulfed in flames. We are here. Jaiwo silently looked towards the village. The student council quickly arrived at the temporary base in Tuberosa village. Clyde quickly received the summary information about the village. Here's a map of it. There are 5 wolf beasts that have invaded. 1 was purified alive, 1 was killed. Their corpses are polluting the land, so we moved them out of the camp. The monsters have a habit of attacking again, so we urgently contacted Valhalla. Clyde coldly crossed his arms and said, His Majesty is also concerned about the increasing number of attacks. The Willow family must get involved. Thank you, Lord Clyde. Jaiwo also carefully observed the map. She suddenly had a question. Why is not this area protected? There is no one there. We can't waste manpower on beasts in that place. She quickly realized, surprising no other choice, but the beasts have invaded here because the scenario said so. If the player does not investigate the important facilities, the well and the windmill will be destroyed, devastating the lives of the villagers until they are rebuilt. Immediately after that, Jaiwo did not think much and announced to everyone, a pack of wolves here will cause great damage. A guard immediately followed and said, sorry, but we lack guards for the houses. The way she spoke made that person think she was talking nonsense, so Jaiwo decided to handle it herself. She suggested, then I will scout this area. As soon as the words were spoken, two voices rang out, one from Damien. The other was from Clyde. Both wanted to stop her from doing this. It is too dangerous, do not be reckless. To make the male lead comply, she needs at least 2 red hearts. However, both people are below that level. Jaiwo only has a way to persuade reasonably. Jaiwo immediately improvised, it is not being reckless. Damien hurriedly followed her. Teresa, going alone is too risky. She quickly walked towards a killed monster and used magic. Oh, unclean life. Be purified. Clyde's eyes widened in surprise. Jaiwo had proven, I can also use purification magic. If they study magical creatures, they will realize the secret in Jaiwo's spell. However, just with that little bit of magic, it still was not enough to convince Clyde. The beasts keep attacking the same location. But she will scout the unprepared area. What should I do? Jaiwo realized she had been pushed into a passive position. They had decided where she would run away to. There is no way I lack the catalyst here. Even so, Jaiwo still tried to give an opinion. This area is near the farm growing magical plants. Beasts often appear near those plants. This is basic knowledge, you know this, right? Jaiwo again succeeded in angering Clyde. He could not continue to stop her. Send a magic message if anything goes wrong. As soon as the words ended, Clyde turned to leave. I understand. Good, I will send it before the beasts attack. I do not intend to fight anyway. Jaiwo thought like that. Jaiwo had just entered the forest when she immediately encountered 2 beasts. How did things turn out like this? The beasts appeared earlier than expected. It was still okay until the horse panicked, threw her off and ran away. She sent a rescue message right after falling. Just need to hold on for about 5 minutes. And this is her first battle. Jaiwo thought of the worst case scenario. She might die from a real battle. Oh, unclean life. Be purified. That light spread quickly towards the 2 beasts. They roared, making Jaiwo startled. Jaiwo thought her magic was too weak. She continued to repeat the magic countless times. Oh, unclean life, be purified, be purified, be purified. Jaiwo repeated it until the chat channel exploded. Stop, they are purified. Only then did she dare to look back. Jaiwo was also surprised by her ability. Because I used wide area purification, the power should have weakened. Were they purified so easily? The 2 beasts like puppies ran to entangle Jaiwo. Right at this moment, Jaiwo heard that familiar sound again. She glanced forward. Another pack. But this time Jaiwo had combat experience. She quickly gathered all her strength. After that, fired straight at the pack of beasts. They fearfully ran away in chaos. Are not you going to stand still? The beasts running away was not in the scenario. I bet they also do not like being unilaterally purified. After Jaiwo had handled the pack of beasts herself, the rescue team arrived. We found the lady. The monsters are attacking her. Jaiwo was busy purifying the remaining ones. Oh, unclean life. Jaiwo was unharmed, making everyone stunned. Only Damien immediately rushed up to help her. He used magic to block the pack of beasts from escaping. I have blocked them from running away. Now is the time. Jaiwo was also using all her strength to attack. Be purified. That blinding light quickly spread widely. The whole pack of monsters had been purified by Jaiwo. She tiredly fell to the ground. All purified. At this time Damien had also arrived. He quickly pulled her up. Damien worriedly asked, are you okay? Jaiwo absent-mindedly replied, not okay, I am probably going to die. Professor Elijah was right. Mages need stamina more than magic power. Damien looked at her and said, you keep surprising me lately. Have magical creatures always obeyed you like this? Damien knew best that that could not be true. Jaiwo had overdone it. Before Jaiwo could speak, a guard continued, this is not just about obediently listening, it is an unprecedented thing. Purifying a monster tainted by dark energy while it is still alive has a high failure rate. Even high-level mages have difficulty. But the lady easily did it. He excitedly ran to Jaiwo. Could it be that there is an extraordinary ancestor in the Squire bloodline? She coldly replied, I do not believe they are all human. At this time Clyde also approached Jaiwo. An unusual thing happened. The wolves were very wary of him. Magical creatures must instinctively feel that Clyde is half human, half demon. And to them, an individual with mixed blood is a cursed creature. They should not linger on this land. Looking at Clyde's expression, Jaiwo could not bear it. We agreed to act like he is invisible, but how can I ignore such a gloomy face? Jaiwo sighed, then she went towards Clyde. Jaiwo's voice rang out, do you need anything from me? Clyde stared blankly at her. I need to write a report, so follow me. Okay, wait a moment. Before leaving, Jaiwo did not forget to turn back and pat the little ones goodbye. You guys go back to where you used to live. When a magical creature is purified, it will resist dark energy and won't be contaminated again, but you should still be careful. They held as if to say goodbye to her. And the holy power of the magical creatures was spreading. That scene made everyone surprised. Look. The contaminated area has been purified. The guards cheered happily. The contaminated area has returned to normal. It is all thanks to the lady. Long live the lady. Even though she was praised, Jaiwa did not like it. I am attracting unnecessary attention now. At least it is good news. In the future, because of the pollution of the land, people lost their minds in a rage. To appease the anger of the crowd, the royal family would execute a scapegoat. And that is how the life of the most notorious troublemaker in the empire, Teresa, ended. Jaiwa was lost in thought about the end of her life when Clyde unexpectedly reached out his hand towards her. Stop spacing out and grab this. Jaiwa did not bother considering and refused. Why, I can go myself. Clyde immediately found fault. In those shoes. At this time Jaiwa realized her situation. The high heels were all broken, probably because of running on barren land. But why is Clyde showing such kindness even though he is still Blackheart? Do not tell me this is a trap to test me. Thinking that way, Jaiwa still wanted to protect her life by refusing. It is okay, you said you need to write a report, right? I am fine like this, let us go. Clyde put on an annoyed face again. Do whatever you want. As soon as the words ended, he turned to leave. Before she realized it, the whole village had come to see, but everyone was looking at Jaiwa, making her very curious. Now that I think about it, revealing skin in the old days was taboo. Right at this moment Damien hurriedly ran over and reminded, Teresa, at times like this you should act according to your noble status and show some grace. The chat channel also warned that nobles never go barefoot, especially when there is an escort. Jaiwa finally understood the problem and she had no right to refuse. I have to tell you everything you need to do. You should have done it yourself. Jaiwa without hesitation wrapped her arms around Damien's neck. What are you doing? Carry me quickly. The constellations exploded. This is exactly a villainous noble. Damien confusedly picked her up. Lying in his arms, Jaiwa had free time to assess Damien's appearance. He is quite thin but more muscular than I thought. His muscles are also firm. How much do you have to exercise to be like this? But his face is a little red. Is he very sick? The chat channel quickly reminded her. Check the favorability, and indeed the favorability had increased by one more heart. At this time Damien spoke. Teresa, I hope you stop staring at me. Jaiwa did not seem to pay attention to his words. She was only paying attention to the favorability. 2 red hearts, faster than I thought. If this continues, I might actually see the ending where I am with someone. Of course that is only if I avoid the bad ending. Clyde's black heart went from 2 to 3. If I accidentally meet the Emperor, who hates the Squire family, the possibility of my life ending tragically will skyrocket. But as long as I do not enter the royal palace, the probability of meeting the Emperor is very low. I do not need to worry about accidentally meeting that guy. Change the scene to the center of the royal capital, the Sun Palace. Your Majesty, Lord Gordon Willow of the Willow family wants to meet. Let him in. The ruler of this land, the owner of the Sun Palace. The great Emperor, Your Majesty. This person is the second son of the Willow family, Gordon Willow. And the person sitting on the throne is none other than Emperor Eugis Rodrigo. I have heard the story. Lady Squire was extremely active in her first student council meeting, right? Restoring land contaminated by dark energy, something no mage has ever done, and the magical creatures also listened to her. I thought the Squire family had finally collapsed thanks to their hopeless eldest daughter. But I have a question, Gordon. If Teresa has the ability to control magical creatures, Valhalla should have noticed a long time ago, so why have not they? It has been over 100 years since the Squire family lost their visual magic. If a family loses the visual magic passed down through generations, they should be like their predecessors and disappear in the chronicles, but Lady Squire was discovered to have the ability to control magical creatures. How did this happen, Gordon? Gordon carefully replied, it was unexpected. During the aptitude test, the lady clearly showed inconsistencies towards magical creatures. But for an inexplicable reason she suddenly. The Emperor came down and interrupted Gordon. You know I do not like lies. These words of the Emperor made him scared. He hurriedly apologized. Please forgive my incompetence, Your Highness. Of course, Gordon, I cherish you very much. I am very honored. The Emperor extremely hates lies. Emperor Eugis, who was deceived from the age of 5 by the Empress Dowager and high-ranking nobles throughout his childhood. And they even planned to replace him if necessary. But as soon as the Emperor came of age, he dealt with all those who deceived him by burning them in front of everyone. The Emperor ordered Gordon, stand up. After that he waved his hand to order. An item was brought up. Gordon confusedly asked, what is this? The Emperor quickly answered his question. An invitation to the Sun Palace is for a student of the Magic Academy who has impressive achievements. It is natural for me to meet and encourage her directly. Gordon felt very confused. The Emperor wanted to meet a lady who was not even the family heir, and it is a lady who is not married meeting an unmarried emperor. Is he trying to confirm something, whether Teresa will live like the fool the emperor craves, or become a troublesome variable? Gordon did not dare to question further. He politely obeyed. I will happily deliver the message, Your Majesty, and his role was to observe Teresa closely so that he could eliminate her if necessary. Change the scene back to Valhalla School. Jaiwo was still going to school as usual, but today there was a problem. The Magic Association had come to find her. The president of the Magic Association, Milo, without any regard blocked Jaiwo's way. How interesting, Lady Teresa. Jaiwo blankly, but she still had to maintain a polite attitude. Hello, President. Milo did not beat around the bush, he directly went straight to the point. You used magical creatures to purify pollution. My association obviously needs such talent, so, we want to study your magic so that we can make others use it too. Will you cooperate in research for the benefit of mankind? The constellations are feeling indignant when the crazy old man plans to make her a guinea pig. Jaiwo, after hearing that, just wanted to curse, mankind my ass. He just wants to research new magic. This was originally a trap for Libby. Accepting it will lead to game over immediately. Luckily Jaiwo knew the consequences, so she was able to cope. You say that my magic has a special power. The aptitude tests show that I have no attributes in magic. And you say it is for the benefit of mankind. Even though I am B+, I recklessly joined the student council. Do I have to go further and become a guinea pig for the Magic Association? As soon as Jaiwo finished speaking, an argument broke out. How dare you despise the noble sacrifice for mankind? But what that senior said is right. Why do Valhalla students have to be chosen as guinea pigs for the Magic Association? One of the members following Milo shouted, Lady Teresa, can you take responsibility for your words? Are you not willing to sacrifice for the Empire? Right at this moment, Duke Raoul's voice unexpectedly rang out from behind. The ones who shouted sacrifice at my daughter, shut your mouths and step forward right now. Jaiwo was very surprised with this appearance. Why is Raoul at school? He stepped forward and stood right next to Jaiwo. After that, Raoul loudly declared, if you do not acknowledge your mistakes and kneel down, I will make sure you can't stand again. The constellations were in a commotion before Raoul's appearance. At the same time, Raoul also reminded Jaiwo. Teresa stepped back. She felt that he was getting angry. The power was no joke. So Teresa's DNA really comes from Raoul. An indescribable feeling rose in her heart, but his appearance blocked my view. The feeling is a bit overly protective but also comfortable. I thought Babe had been infected with those familiar looks. But maybe not. After instructing Jaiwo, Raoul started to freak out and shout, to fill your selfish evil desires, quickly confess to intentionally harming my daughter. Those people confused could not say anything. Luckily Milo still kept his composure. He stepped forward and spoke. You have crossed the line, Duke Raoul, even if it is about your child. My association is simply requesting the princess to cooperate for the common good. Despising our noble intentions is not to my liking. Jaiwo really wanted to curse straight at this villain's face. President Milo is crazy about magic experiments. Talking normally has no effect on him. Arguing is useless. Raoul, after hearing that, did not bother arguing with him anymore. Then we have nothing more to say. Squire considers this an insult to the family and declares a territorial war. Jaiwo did not expect Raoul to do this much just to protect Teresa. The declaration of Duke Raoul made everyone clamor, a territorial war. Jaiwo was also very surprised with the words of Duke Raoul. Right at this moment the principal of Valhalla also arrived. You should review your words, Duke Squire. This situation had become more serious. Raoul immediately questioned. Squire does not tolerate insults. Duke Willow, who is he? You know clearly. Principal Willow was also not to be outdone. He angrily shouted, Duke. The surrounding students whispered, now that I think about it, has not the Squire family never lost in a territorial war? Even the Willow family lost in the last battle. The comments blankly asked about the last territorial war. Jaiwo sighed and replied, the battle 100 years ago. 100 years ago, the Squire and Willow families intended to marry, but the eldest son of the Willow family, the person who was supposed to marry the princess of Squire, ran away with his lover on the wedding day. The Squire princess immediately became a laughingstock. Too angry, the head of the Squire family declared a territorial war. And to punish the Willow family, he killed the head of the Willow family. To retaliate, the Willow family unexpectedly searched the Squire's archive and burned all the secret magic incantations of Squire that were passed down for generations. Because of that, the two families became mortal enemies. Raoul still maintained a serious attitude and said, if they lay a hand on my daughter, should not they prepare to disappear? The atmosphere at this time was getting more and more stifling. The girls greatly admired Jaiwo. Duke Squire is amazing. He will do everything to protect Senior Teresa. Hearing this, Principal Willow could not continue to argue anymore. After that he bowed his head and apologized. I admit my mistake. The academy should have protected Lady Teresa sooner, but responded late. Jaiwo was very surprised with his actions. They withdrew. They are wary because of the viewers around. After that the principal turned to speak to the Magic Association. President Milo, today's matter was very hasty. our school will sincerely apologize for this mistake through an official letter. Today I may have gone too far, Lady Teresa, please believe I had no bad intentions. I simply appreciate your special talent. Jaiwo heard it and thought it was ridiculous. He came here from the early morning to satisfy the greed of the Magic Association. Even though the principal had apologized, Duke Raoul's anger still had not subsided. Whoever dares to disrespect my daughter, I will remember their faces. You will have to pay the price, so prepare. The Magic Association people wanted to apologize, but the Duke did not bother paying attention to them. After that he softly called Teresa. Jaiwo, startled, looked at him. Duke Raoul grabbed her hand and resolutely left. Throughout the journey, Raoul did not let go of Jaiwo's hand. How much longer are you going to hold hands? Jaiwo at this time gathered her courage and spoke. What brought father to Valhalla? He gloomily replied, I was told about yesterday's events. Using magical creatures to purify the land, I know those old guys in the Magic Association won't let you go. As I predicted. If you have such an ability, you should have told father earlier. Being scolded by her father, Jaiwo confused. I did not know I had that ability, and I completely did not expect it to stir things up so much. Raoul immediately explained to her, when it comes to demons, mages like us always find a reason to rise above all. Without reason, status is just an empty shell. He worriedly instructed, even if you are a princess, do not be careless, understand? Why are you so careless in a strange place? I did not expect it to be so noisy. What does that mean? Raoul continued to lecture her. When I was your age I had already gotten married and raised children. How can you not know anything about the world? As expected, all parents are the same. They all have a common way of attacking, which is to use the story of the era. Jaiwo did not dare to talk back. She bowed her head and admitted her mistake. From now on I will report to father first. Right at this moment, footsteps rang out again. Long time no see, Duke Squire. Jaiwo was attracted by that voice. She immediately glanced in that direction. That character is. That person was Gordon Willow, the second son of the principal and Clyde's uncle. Jaiwo wondered, why is a character who should be in the palace at Valhalla? He stepped forward and announced, Teresa Squire. Before receiving the letter from His Majesty, please pay your respects. While Jaiwo was blank, Raoul lost his composure and frantically asked, What? What a sudden announcement. Gordon immediately replied, this is a direct message from His Majesty. Because of protecting and rebuilding the villages destroyed by the beasts, we praise her achievements, so we invite Lady Teresa Squire to the Sun Palace. Jaiwo at this time was startled to realize he only invited her. Jaiwo had expected it, but she never imagined it would happen. An invitation from the royal palace had been sent. Jaiwo was trying to reassure herself, calm down. She glanced around and realized, the servants in the palace are looking at me. My reaction will be reported to the emperor. If I make even the smallest mistake, I might be arrested before entering the palace. I might be executed. Because she feared her end would be like Teresa in the original story, Jaiwo could only receive the letter. I will follow the emperor's instructions. The constellations are looking forward to this meeting. Only Jaiwo did not feel that way. To meet the emperor, at least she had to learn high-level etiquette. That was the minimum requirement to enter the plotline with the emperor. But her etiquette was still only at the intermediate level. If she entered the palace like this, she might be executed for offending the emperor. Raoul, although he did not dare to resist the order, he did not welcome Gordon. He frowned and said, are you done? If so, then leave. I feel like I can't stand it any longer because of your father. Gordon coldly retorted, I am just doing the mission that His Majesty gave. Raoul lost control again. He glared angrily, what a great reason. Not only did Willow bring the Magic Association, but now he is involved with the royal palace. Seeing that the situation was about to get out of hand, Jaiwo hurriedly spoke, young Duke, can you give me some time to talk to my father? She told herself, now lead Raoul to somewhere before things get worse. Gordon satisfied her request. Immediately after that, Jaiwo hurriedly pulled Raoul away. Let us go to the living room for a cup of tea. Switching the scene inside Jaiwo's dormitory, 2 cups of hot tea have been prepared. Raoul was using magic to create countless layers of protection. How many layers of protection magic are here? Is he doing that because he is afraid someone will hear? After finishing that, Raoul finally said with peace of mind, calling a young unmarried lady directly to the Sun Palace, is that I am crazy. It seems the emperor has dementia when he was young. It seems he used some harsh words to talk about the emperor. After that he asked again, what does the invitation say? Jaiwo quickly opened the letter and read the contents inside. I have heard of the Squire Lady's war in destroying the beasts. I want to personally praise your efforts and invite you to the Sun Palace this Sunday. It seems like a normal invitation that is written elegantly. The meaning is if you do not come you will die. Anyway, an invitation from the emperor will definitely cause a stir. Maybe Raoul finds it troublesome. After Jaiwo read the letter, Raoul worried about another thing. The emperor values etiquette very much. At that time you must dress properly as much as possible. Stop by the house before entering the palace. You will need to choose clothes to wear, and in the dormitory you only have uniforms or ordinary dresses, right? Raoul looked at his daughter gently. Jaiwo was very surprised that Raoul knew about this. She thought for a long time, he must have paid attention to her situation a lot during the past time. But that thought only flashed by. Jaiwo immediately suppressed it. No, maybe he is worried my behavior will damage the family image. After that, she replied to her father. I will go home with Libby on Friday, thank you father. Hearing this, Raoul was temporarily satisfied. Okay, I will wait for you Teresa. Raoul then did not forget to smile at Jaiwo. She pondered, can Raoul smile so gently? A few days later, the time to go home had arrived. Libby was chatting with her classmates. Libby, do you want to stop by my house this weekend? No, instead let us go out to the lake. When are you planning to answer my confession? Libby confused replied, I definitely rejected you at that time. Haha, if you think about it again the feeling might be different. Right at this moment Jaiwo had arrived. Seeing the young men surrounding Libby, Jaiwo could only stand outside sighing and waiting. As expected, the heroine is loved by everyone. Ridiculous stories on the sidelines are everywhere. As soon as she saw Jaiwo, Libby found a lifesaver. Sister, the two male students after hearing that frantically turned back. Senior Teresa. Libby shot like a bullet towards Jaiwo. I put a lot of effort into creating this heroine and now these minor characters dare to mess with her. Thinking that way, Jaiwo immediately spoke. Is there something going on with my sister? The two boys fearfully replied, no, I am sorry. Jaiwo is too famous, so this was easy. After the two guys left, Jaiwo turned to her sister. Do you have a lot of guys like that? The girl innocently replied. Many other classmates also talk to me often. Among them, do you like anyone? Libby startled replied, no, why are you asking? That is too obvious. Now maybe Libby does not necessarily need to be in love with the male lead, maybe she will love someone else. But Libby said that she had not met anyone like that. The two quickly got on the carriage and returned to the mansion. Throughout the journey, Jaiwo kept asking, so do you have a type? A type? Libby seriously thought and quickly gave an answer, someone sincere and kind. Always taking care of me, someone sweet. It is hard to find someone like that. In Jaiwo's subconscious those three people are all trash, but Libby happily said that she knows exactly one person. Jaiwo seriously thought, really, who is it? There is no one like that. Among the male leads there is no one like that. They are all wolves and evil hiding their true nature. Libby looked towards Jaiwo and smiled. Right in front of me, I like someone like you. Thinking that there would be a touching story, but Jaiwo looked worried. Libby's standards are too low. When I think about my actions in front of Libby, I only show those times when I argue with my father and fight outside. Jaiwo at this time suddenly looked outside. Giuseppe was being blocked by two classmates. The boy looked confused. Does not everyone know that Teresa hates her new family? Moreover, you can't perform beast purification magic. Giuseppe angrily shouted, shut up. The people around did not dare to intervene but only stood outside and talked. The young masters are fighting now. Oh my, is not that the young master of the Squire family? The young masters continued to use unpleasant words to mock Giuseppe. When that lady becomes the heir, you will definitely be kicked out. They had reached the boy's limit. Giuseppe angrily used magic. I told you to shut up. Jaiwo had just planned to take action when Jaiwo timely appeared and stopped him. Okay, everyone cancel your magic now. Giuseppe's magic had disappeared. As for the two young masters, they had been tied up by Jaiwo. Focus, now you can talk. The magic summoning system she developed recently has a pretty good effect. Activating magic with short commands instead of specific sentences is much more effective. Giuseppe was tied up, so he was very angry and shouted, what does this mean? Let me go. Jaiwo refused. No, if I let you go then you might cause trouble again. After that, she went in front of the two young masters. Hello. The two boys seemed to be attracted by Jaiwo's magic. Libby at this time also ran over. She worriedly asked, sister, what is going on? The eyes of both lit up when they saw Jaiwo. Wow, she has an aura. This is the reaction of those kids when they first see two beautiful faces. Jaiwo pulled Giuseppe over and asked, are you friends of my brother Giuseppe? Friends should not fight, you should be harmonious. I will release you, so be good. As soon as the words ended, Jaiwo snapped her fingers and dispelled the incantation. Giuseppe also struggled out. No matter how violent his reaction was, Jaiwo was still very gentle. She took Giuseppe's hand. Let us go. The boy angrily questioned, you had a plan from the beginning. Jaiwo smiled friendly. Why? I am just holding my beloved brother's hand. Giuseppe shouted again, stop talking nonsense. What are you plotting? Why are you doing this? Jaiwo smiled and said, Giuseppe, if we look harmonious, do not you think those kids behind us will be careful with their mouths from now on? Giuseppe was still like a puppy who did not like to listen. Even though his hand was still holding Jaiwo's hand, his mouth still did not stop arguing. What does that have to do with you? You think I will support you as the heir just because you helped a little? You will never become the Duchess of Squire, you idiot. Jaiwo laughed. Yeah, you are completely right. Do I look like I am joking? I did not want to be the Duchess from the beginning. Giuseppe, after hearing that, immediately let go of her hand. Then why do you desperately want to kick my mother and me out of the house? His question also shocked Libby. Teresa of the past was indeed like that. I do not know, I will never recognize you as family. Teresa had hurt her family. Even though it was not done by Jaiwo, but that must be the burden she had to bear under the name of Teresa. So, Jaiwo again took Giuseppe's hand and expressed sincerely, I am sorry, it was hard for me to accept my stepmother and you at first, I had a feeling I would become a lonely person. But from now on no one can kick you and your mother out of the Duke's house. Not even Libby can kick you out. I promise you with my life. This sentence of Jaiwo made Giuseppe blush. Even so, the boy was still very stubborn. I still have not forgiven you, do not misunderstand. After that, the three continued to go home together. Giuseppe had agreed to hold Jaiwo's hand, but he still tried to justify, those idiots were coming from behind so I was just pretending to be friendly. Do not misunderstand. The next day, at the Squire mansion. A lot of clothes had been prepared. Jaiwo blankly, what are these? Lady Rosen stepped forward, she gently replied, I have called the store staff into the mansion. You need clothes and jewelry to enter the Sun Palace. Finally, instead of the terrible uniform you will wear proper clothes. Jaiwo refused, I already have a lot of fabric so I do not need to buy new ones. The comments wanted her to accept it. Jaiwo sighed, it is true that fashion games have been popular since ancient times. Okay, let us just treat this as a game. Eloise quickly helped Jaiwo choose clothes. Meanwhile, Lady Rosen also stood on the side to observe. Because you are the first lady to be invited to the Sun Palace, preparing is never enough, I just do not know if there are any clothes that meet your standards. A constellation donated and sighed, I have never felt so threatened. Now clothes are not a problem for Jaiwo, etiquette upgrades are still not in the store's inventory. A moment later the outfit had been chosen, Lady Rosen and Eloise happily praised, you look beautiful, as expected. And there was no other choice, Jaiwo had to go to the palace without the support of the system. Very quickly the carriage arrived at the palace. In front the emperor had prepared a lot of people to greet her. Jaiwo carefully stepped out of the carriage, I must use all the knowledge I know. And face the emperor herself. The news of Jaiwo's visit was immediately transmitted, Your Majesty Lady Teresa has arrived. Now she will enter. The door was slowly opened. The emperor had also prepared carefully for this meeting, I have been waiting for you, Lady Teresa. Jaiwo was very nervous. After that, she quickly paid her respects, greetings to the great master of the world Emperor Your Majesty. The emperor smiled satisfied, come in, it seems the greeting did not have any problems. Following the emperor, Jaiwo also took the opportunity to check the character information. And an unexpected thing happened. The favorability that Emperor Yuji's had for her was 4 black hearts. Black hearts are warnings that the game sends to the player, 3 black hearts is to be careful because danger may appear. But from 4 the power of it has changed. This is the stage where just a thought can lead to a bad ending, in other words dying at any time is not strange, that is the ultimate. The emperor entered inside, he looked towards Jaiwo then said, now sit down Lady Teresa. The emperor started the conversation, compared to seeing you at the summer festival last year, the impression of you has changed a bit, it is an honor to be remembered. How can I forget, the look that lady gave me was very intense, Jaiwo panicked. That fun-loving Teresa, why are not you loyal to Clyde? Yuji's favorability decreases when I look like I am aiming for the empress position. And the bad ending of Yuji's is not only for Teresa but it is the destruction of the Squire family. Jaiwo quickly explained, it was not just me at that time, all the ladies were restless. If we could dance with His Majesty, who looks like a fairy tale prince, then we would not want anything else. Prince, do not say that, it sounds like you are mocking, he is not like the emperor. And so Jaiwo continued to explain, yes, when someone thinks of Emperor Your Majesty someone imagines an old man with a long beard, not someone young and handsome like Your Majesty. So you are attracted to me because I am young and handsome. It is admiration, it is completely not about carnal feelings. With someone who admires me like you seem to talk back a lot. These words of the emperor even the game publisher can't stomach. Even so, Jaiwo still had to improvise, I am sorry, no need to apologize, use the prepared dessert. I have prepared the popular dishes recently, but I am not sure if it will suit your taste. Jaiwo carefully tried a bite, I am really filled with gratitude, my reaction is more normal than I imagined. Jaiwo thought that she could pass this peacefully. But at this time the emperor suddenly broke the fork and threw it down. This tastes really bad. When entertaining an honored guest who has made great contributions, this is the best you can do. The servants there hurriedly stepped forward to apologize, forgive us Your Majesty, we will bring up new food. Jaiwo's expression at this time was not good either, I think I am going to throw up. After reprimanding the servants, the emperor stood up again. While waiting for them to bring the new dish, I should personally lead you on a tour of the Sun Palace, right? After walking for a while there will be a party prepared. It is an honor for me, Your Highness. As soon as her hand touched the emperor's hand, he felt her fear. So trembling, I am simply escorting the lady, it is sad that you are wary of me. Jaiwo again felt her strength being taken by a monster, even so, Jaiwo had to try to remain calm, that is not my intention. The emperor glared at Jaiwo then ordered, follow me. The two walked inside the palace grounds. I heard there was a commotion at Valhalla recently. The Duke seemed very angry. There was a misunderstanding at that time, but it has been resolved well. Let us just assume that it is not important now, right? The lady must be expecting a reward for contributing, right? Jaiwo confusedly thought, contribute what? The emperor silently thought for a moment, then suggested, that is right. How about becoming a royal mage with immediate effect? I will provide you with magic and a personal assistant. I am very grateful that you appreciate my abilities, but no need for you to finish. Emperor Yuji's already knew what she wanted to say. He grabbed her hand again. Reject, right? Then tell me, what do you want, lady? This is not just simply receiving a reward but obviously a test. Jaiwo knew she could not ask for something too trivial or too extravagant. If I do not give the perfect answer, I will anger Yuji's. What should I ask for? Right at that moment, two servants following the emperor hurriedly ran over. Jaiwo, startled, looked back. One of the two knelt down and quickly spoke, "Forgive me for disturbing your majesty." At this time, Jaiwo had also observed some details. The servant had wrapped fabric around his shoes to reduce the sound of footsteps, meaning the emperor was in the worst mood possible. The emperor was angry. He glared and said, "We were having a good conversation halfway, now you plan to disturb me." Jaiwo was also very worried. At this rate, that servant would definitely die, because she could not just stand there and watch someone die in front of her. Immediately after that, Jaiwo spoke, "Your Majesty, I have a wish. I want to enter the royal garden. I want to see the thorn ice torus flower." Thorn ice torus flower, is there such a thing? Another servant immediately replied, "Yes, Your Majesty, that is the flower that is always placed in your room." Ah, that flower, that poisonous plant has the ability to paralyze my senses effectively, which are already sensitive due to the blood I carry. Now you are telling me you want to see that flower and soothe my anger. Jaiwo hastily denied, "It is not like that. I said that because you seem to have a headache from the piercing sound. However, frequently using painkillers is not good for your health. So I hope you will have a similar experience by visiting the garden with me." Visiting the garden because you care about my health is the lady's reward. If it works, then His Majesty will take care of me. Therefore there is no greater reward than that. Lead the way. The two went to the royal garden together, indeed. When the lady said that, my heart felt a little more peaceful than that is good. Thinking that everything was peaceful. But the emperor suddenly caught the servant from earlier again. He without hesitation threw him into the garden and ordered, "To recognize the lady's efforts in soothing my heart, I will give you a chance. Quickly go and pick the flower that has the effect for me." The thorn ice torus flower is medicine for the emperor, but for ordinary people it is deadly poison. Ordinary people without magic will die within 5 minutes of touching it. Jaiwo could not just stand by and wait for that to happen. She nominated herself, "Your Majesty, can I pick it for him instead?" The emperor, after hearing that, turned to her, "Instead of him? I did not realize the lady had such compassion. Very good, let me do this. I will ask you one question. If I am satisfied with the answer, I will spare that servant, but if I am not satisfied, then the lady must kill that servant with her own hands. Do you accept this bet?"